To save Salvata, the city that we love, an evil force has corrupted our home. Many fell, and now the boss, they stand alone. Blessed power rains down in waterfall. Holy magic designed by the Emerald Cabal. Injustice rots our city's very soul. Oppression is the noble's only goal. Rebellion rings in every street and every tavern hall. Now the time has come, my friends, to all answer the call. All answer the call. Now answer the
Sirens, Battle of the Bards is an epic 5th edition campaign and setting, set in the decadent city of Salvata. Filled to the brim with over 300 pages, 20 adventures, over 10 new Bard subclasses, and countless magical items, this is a fully immersive adventure. Mystery, intrigue, and deception lurk within every dark alley. The city of Salvata features 10 districts, including battle coliseums, amphitheaters, comedy clubs, taverns, bazaars, underground magic fighting rings, a new bardic university, and much, much more. You don't need to be a bard to adventure here. All are welcome in Salvata. Dive even further into the story with our partners, Mixed Dimensions, Wormwood, Level Up Dice, Campaign Coins, and Sirenscape. With the Weave storytelling platform, Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Shard, and Foundry VTT, you can even play virtually. With a full orchestral soundtrack, multiple endings, and new game mechanics to encourage exploration and improvisation, Sirens Battle of the Bards places your party not only in the crucible of conquest, but at the heart of a battle for the soul of a growing empire. Will you sell out? Will the city be ground to dust? Will the heavens be lured down and open before you? Will you join the Emerald Cabal, the Rebellion, or forge your own path? The fate of tens of thousands is in your party's hands. Join our Kickstarter and inspire revolution.
Hey, welcome everybody to Gehenna Gaming's Sirens Battle of the Bards stream. I guess we're going to begin Salvata, and I'm going to murder some bards, or wannabe bards tonight. Or not. Maybe they'll succeed. But
I think that threat's uncalled for.
Right. I mean, who knows? But I mean, we're on Gehenna Gaming, so I mean, some death and destruction needs to happen. But no, nonetheless, we're here actually tonight to show you guys Sirens Battle of the Bards, a Kickstarter that this lovely team of writers and myself are working on over at thebardbook.com. You just saw the trailer for it. You saw the city and some of the artworks up behind me. And tonight's adventure is going to run us through Chapter 1, which is in the demo packet. Everything I'm going to do in this chapter, unless these 4 players decide to run around sideways and take me completely off to left field, is everything that you can find in the chapter. But I'm pretty sure they're going to go chase a squirrel somewhere off into the distance, which leads to horrible, bloody death. But that aside, I am Rick Heinz, one of the lead writers and the writing directors on the projects. I'll let everybody introduce themselves real quick before we get started with house rules. Ray, do you want to go first?
Not particularly, but I will. So I am Ray Jenkins. I'm one of the contributing writers in this awesome team of real-life bards we've got together for this book. I'm writing some really fun stuff together with Crystal in particular. We're doing great things. And by great, I mean very evil. And yeah, tonight I'll be playing a half-elf blade singer, and we're going to have a blast with it.
Theo.
Hello, I am Theo Thourson. I am one of the co-proprietors of The Gallant Goblin over on YouTube and every other social media platform in existence, including, I think, Friendster. We do a lot of reviews of D&D, Pathfinder, Starfinder, minis, accessories, books, maps, everything you can get your hands on to enhance your game. I'm also DMing my own game over on the Gilding Lights Twitch page, Twitch channel. We're on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah, that's right. And we've been having a lot of fun with that. And I'm also helping to write this amazing book along with these amazing people and many others. And I'm really excited tonight. I'm playing a dwarf cleric named Dodo. And since I am 99% of the time behind the GM screen, I'm excited to actually play as a character in a game for like once in my life. So I'm excited.
Awesome. Crystal?
Hi, I'm Crystal. I am I'm on the writing team for Sirens, and myself and Ray are going to try and destroy everything, and it's great. I'm super excited to be playing. I am playing something that is not usually in my wheelhouse. I'm playing a gnome assassin. So that'll be a lot of fun. Her name is Zalen.
All right.
Is that basically Chucky? A gnome assassin?
Yes, but adorable.
Okay.
As Ray had said earlier, tiny ball of death.
It's a wee ball of death.
It's a wee bit.
Pat, who is currently lost in a,
I wanted to see how long I could hold that. I wasn't even drinking. I wanted to see how long I would hold it there, and if you would be like politely wait for me to put it down or not.
No.
Hi, I am Pat Edwards. Yeah, I'm with this delightful group of writers and a bunch of other writers. If you're here at Gehenna Gaming, you might have heard of a book called The Red Opera. Don't know if you've heard of it or not. Worked with Rick on writing that as well, and excited to be here. I'm playing a blue dragonborn, barbarian with a little sprinkling of bard, named Fergus McScalin.
So the house rules that I have for tonight, and before we get too much into Salvata, every one of these people here are on the writing team, and that would make it very boring since they probably have access to the document and could probably look at the entire chapter 1 ahead of time, like players tend to do in your house games anyway. So thus, my house rules are no complaining when I change everything completely on the fly, knowing that you guys might have had access to the doc ahead of time. The second house rule is if scenes get too dark for you guys, this is my symbol for like the black card. If you need me to just phase out and go to the next bit. If you're using real physical dice and you drop them and go completely off camera, you get disadvantage when you come back. So those are my house rules. That being said, let's get into Salvata. The four of you have all been adventurers for time, and you have many stories and many legends that have hearkened your deeds and gotten you on other people's resumes, other people's notice. I mean, you're all experienced characters that have had plenty of time to slay dragons. At this point, a young adult green dragon is probably something you go do before, morning breakfast. But you've worked with each other in the past. You've had your chances and time to see each other, but you each have your own adventuring parties. And throughout your careers, you've gotten a bit into, you owe somebody a favor. You owe the spy master of Lanya, a College of Whisperers bard, who has perhaps at one point given you information in the past or helped you get out of a pickle and maybe even masquerade into Noble's Gathering at one point. A few days ago, her personal assistant named Alice reached out to each of you through a sending message that came directly to you and told you in no equivalent terms, your debt's being cashed in. I need you to show up in Salvata tonight. And a gateway will actually sliver and appear around where each of your characters might have been to pull you into this desert scene. And what lies before you is the city of Salvata, this towering 10-disc city that is reaching up into the heavens. Surrounding it is a desert wasteland that at one point might have been filled with life, but is now just nothing but sandy dunes rolling around. The sky is at nighttime here, and you can see in the night sky an eclipse hearkening on the horizon, maybe a few days out yet still. But despite the nighttime and the relatively calm peace of the desert, Salvata is a place that is alive with color and noise and party, because the grand invocation, the greatest honor for any bard to partake in, is happening. A century-long festival that's building up towards where they can perform for the very gods themselves. Fergus McScallon, you've dabbled with a bit of bards, and so you've probably even heard about this once or twice. It's way above your pay grade as a bard. But the forest
on his mind.
Yeah, not here. I got this.
He's been playing the bagpipes for a solid year, and he's ready to go toe to toe with people that have been practicing their craft for centuries.
Awesome. So you've the four of you are all going to end up coming here at roughly the same time. Now you're familiar with each other, but you haven't, spent those death-defying battles necessarily next to each other in your past. And standing before you is this big bridge that leads up into the city of Salvata, and it is crammed with people as festival goers in a very Burning Man style are kind of pouring into the city. And there are people popping in from other planes. There are people dimension dooring in. Magic is very high on display upon this opening bit, and you're not at all looked at out of place, even in the slightest, for just sort of walking through a purple silver portal to get here. And the only thing that you as a group know is that you need to find the Silken Veil Tavern on the first level of the city. And as you look up the city, you see these massive statues over the stone bridge with water pouring through their fingers down. And inside the water, you can see flecks of gold and amethyst and other colors, mirroring and reflecting, creating this beautiful glimmer that actually cascades out around the city to give the sand surrounding it almost a completely rainbow hue of colors. As you step into the city just a bit more, you start seeing these big prismatic screens and prismatic walls, and you see almost like gnomish reporters and marketing people covering and interviewing bands and bards that are going to be playing. Like you're looking at what we would know as live screen TVs, but in here being done through an element of crystal balls and divination magic that has completely run rampant. And this is where the four of you each look to each other and get a chance to introduce yourselves to each other and catch up with who you are. Is you're, oh yeah, we're here now.
So first off, I have this wonderful cloak of many fashions. So I'm going to try to make it look as outlandish as possible when we show up. So bright colors, maybe even clashing at some ports, because really a storyteller of this stature should stand out. So Tristan's cloak is going to be a swirl of all sorts of different colors as he's kind of like watching these screens and being like, what is this? Like, it'll actually look to whichever one of the group is nearby, like, isn't this a bit garish? I mean, the whole point is to tell the story and let the tale travel and grow. And that this is boring. It's a little disappointed.
Looks fucking fun.
Fergus, is that you?
Well,
Dodo!
Fergus! Oh, it's good to see you. Hey, I've got a question for you, though.
Yay?
You got that magical jug of yours still?
Oh, you fucking know it.
You got it.
I pull out my alchemy jug. It's full of beer. It's not. It doesn't matter. It's always beer.
Oh, I got my tankard.
I got mine too.
Hey,
Let's get peshed.
Give us a fill up, would you?
Yeah, and I do. I fill up I fill up Dodo's tankard and my own.
Oh, it's good to see you, big blue bastard.
Oh, good to see you, you wee stumpy shite.
Well, I'm glad that we're getting along, guys. And he'll look around and probably see Zal and him hoping somewhere in the crowd, perhaps, or nearby.
Well, you'd probably see like a divot. And like she may be small, but she is mighty because the crowd parts for her because she has this look on her face of like, I am enjoying this, but painfully so.
Okay.
Yeah, she would probably recognize all three of you as people that she knows versus like people that she doesn't know and possibly could be enemies. So
Well, it looks like 4 very skilled individuals are here to, I'm assuming, talk to somebody. I wouldn't think any of us skills would be here just by chance, especially not at the same time. Yeah.
Oh, aye.
So, what do we say? You drunk bastards and us go and find out who it is that we're looking for.
Is that? I guess should we describe theater mind look like?
Yes.
So Fergus is blue dragonborn, very burly, like big and burly, but a little bit different is big shoulders, arms, chest, and all that. Looks very strong, but he's not cut at all. There's not much definition. It's just mass, and then he's definitely got like a beer gut on him too. He's shirtless, no shirt. He's wearing a white and blue kilt, and he's got like these white tattoos that kind of look like lightning bolts going down the side of his face, all the way down over his belly, like they kind of spread out across his belly. He's traveling kind of light. That's about it. He's got a giant 2-handed greatsword on his back, his jug, and some bagpipes.
Well, so as you guys are standing there looking as fantastic and fabulous as you do with your bagpipes, refilling your ale, you see that as you get up closer onto the bridge and you start mingling your way into the city through the crowds like you're going through a big festival, you start seeing more and more street performers and acrobatics and dancers start going around. You see these ikebana and like bards like actually working on like floral arrangements that they're springing up out of places. There's even magicians that are on small little boxes performing quick simple card tricks. For any of you with roguish abilities, this is like a pickpocket's dream in this area. Small cramped crowd, and you just see nobles everywhere. As far as people who are coming into this first opening level, it is 100% garish, as Tristan had said, with regard to how opulent it is. Even an attempt to be a little bit flamboyant and colorful actually acts as a little bit of camouflage, given the backdrop of what's really happening in this opening disc. Is fire breathers are casting 6, 7 foot, 8 foot long torches up into the air over you guys. And as you move on into the city, you start coming across more and more vendors selling a particular kind of water. And you'll find somebody who's there, like a half elf, peddling this bottled water with ornate golden jewelry around it, shouting, "This will cure your ails. It removes sickness, removes disease, and grants immortality. Only 25,000 gold pieces."
Nothing wrong with me, ale.
But I guess that's what this one does, no?
Aye.
And
there's nothing wrong with it. He said he cures my ails. My ails are sick. My ails healthy is good.
It actually, if I have enough of it, actually makes you look attractive.
Aye.
So as Dodo takes a drink, I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation and make a halo appear behind the gawkers, the barker's head. It's like, whoa, he's drinking now. This thing is immaculate and divine.
The barker in question is like, well, there's nothing wrong with ale. Have at it. In fact, you splice a little bit of this in, and next thing you know, all of your magic, all of your power works a little bit better.
So-
This is made from some of the finest waters of Kezava, the purest sources in
Fucking
Salvata.
water. This fucking guy don't
So
know.
while this guy is distracted, are there any bottles that are left unattended?
Yes, he's got one or two like cart assistants, like another halfling and a larger like half orc, but there's a big crowd, and there are occasionally people that do buy something worth 25,000 gold pieces.
Oh, I'm not looking to buy it.
Right.
Oh no, I know, but there are people, but so because they seem to be more focused on protecting the money than the actual water, which is, take that as you will. You can probably find a way to pinch a little something if that's what you're looking to do.
Oh, I am totally looking to do that.
All right,
I think,
I will.
I was gonna say Dodo is kind of a goody two shoes, and I think he knows Alan a little bit, so he might take that opportunity to go, Zalin, you're from those strange gnomish villages where you have all sorts of magic. What do you know about this water here?
Man,
And it's kind of drawing attention to her, kind of like, come on now.
Right as you were about to like get ready with this, give me a sleight of hand check, just real quick, so I know how good you would have been.
36.
Oh yeah, you had the perfect angle lined up to just do a sweet pass with the yoink, and right when Dodo calls your reference, the barker looks on down to you, and he looks at you and says, "Yes, what do you know about the mystic waters of Kezava, young little gnome?"
First off, not young.
Wouldn't you like to
Secondly-
stay younger? Perhaps age even backwards?
Whoa. Let me stop you right there. Apologize first.
Aye,
So
it's fucking condescending.
right. Come on.
I really
Or
need to
should we
record this.
announce your flippant attitude to the customers that be walking by?
Oh, announce it, please. The way this is I have access to the purest source of Kezava here, anywhere on the first disc. You either buy from me or you age and rot decrepitly at another point.
Well, I got at least another 100 years on me, so I'm good for the moment. But thanks. If a sale comes up between now and then,
My time is
maybe.
short and sweet. I'm enjoying it while I can.
I'm already halfway there.
Water isn't going to protect you from me.
She's right.
At that point, he does kind of like his eyes kind of like go wide when you look up at him and speak, and he's on his box and he's, "Would you like a sample?"
Thank you.
And he brings over a small, has one of his assistants bring over a small vial, and you see like amethyst and gold flecks inside of it. And he offers this, "My apologize for the offense."
I appreciate and accept your apology. I'll look over at Fergus or Dodo and be like, "Hey, you guys want to put any of this in your ale?"
Won't you
Already
enjoy it?
perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Enjoy
all
it.
you.
She'll like shot it.
It's not like one of those samples at Costco now where you have to actually leave the store to try it.
now,
No.
what we didn't know is that he replaced your Quesava with Goldschlager. So,
Will she notice?
right.
Your skin actually does feel tingly after you imbibe a little bit of it, and even after just one little taste, you feel a pep, a bit quicker in your step, and yeah, you get a little bit of courage into you. Like, hey, if I really wanted to pull something off, I think I can do this.
Okay.
It doesn't quite seem to be entirely snake oil. It did make you younger, though. Maybe you just needed to buy the full dose for that.
Right.
Uh,
What's 25K between friends? You know?
Right. And with this all going on, your mission though is to find the Silken Veil Tavern in the first thoroughway, and it is a large enough first district with this big parade up in front and lots of barkers selling all kinds of wares, street performers, tips, everything going on. And you see most people are funneling in towards an amphitheater set sort of in the center part of this disc. On the screens, there's always this chancellor, this beautiful half-elf man with crazy long hair, like kind of tied up a bit as if it was like mimicking the discs of the city down his back. And he's talking about the importance of Kesava and the importance of the grand invocation, and seeing what kind of art the best bards in all of the planes can put together. And you know, they look forward to a successful grand invocation and appeasing the gods once again. And he's given this like opening speech, and he says the festival or the performance is going to begin in 2 hours time. And there's a lot of distractions though that you guys can get lost down or go in different directions. You could easily start cleaning a house in here and going to pickpockets. You could actually look for where you're going, or you could explore around some of the discs for a bit. What do you guys want to do?
Better doing it.
What's
Doing what?
what
I'm
is
doing
it?
what I want to do.
Tristan, let me ask you a question. This is a
Yeah.
bit different. It's not really my scene. I feel a little bit out of sorts. You know more
I
about
don't
this.
really
than
think
me.
this is anyone's scene.
I
But
just-
I will tell you one thing. I think everyone should come and marvel at this man's phenomenal belly, and I'll pat Fergus's stomach. Be like, everyone, come and
Aye.
see how much this Dragonborn can truly drink for just 1 gold piece. And I will roll a performance if possible.
Aye. No looking at me until you pay. Not allowed to look. You're looking at me.
Oh no, it was only an 11.
Oh,
So
alas, the best you get is a few,
Start asking people who look at me.
a
for
few
gold
party
pieces.
elves come by and do like the drum pat on Ferguson's belly, and boom, 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 and you get a copper piece.
marvel at this
Alright.
man's girth.
I'm gonna go up to Fergus and be like, hey Fergus, pick me
Aye.
up. Lift me
Okay,
up.
I do.
All right. So I come from a family of performers, many of whom have had to do the carnival barking. So I am going to try to introduce Fergus and Dodo, the dynamic drinking duo.
Oi!
Hey,
Okay, that's definitely worse than the cantrip.
Okay,
We're gonna do
so
fireworks.
since there's 2 of you going with it, I'll allow you to make your a performance check as well to see if you guys actually do gather a crowd here to test your performance medal. But because there's 2 of you, roll it with advantage.
jeez. Performance.
I'll say,
Oh,
come and see Fergus, the big dragonborn who once put out a fire elemental with his own stinky bedroll.
okay. I definitely will take the 15 plus 8, so that'll be 23.
Okay.
24.
With the 2 of you guys working together to be callers and barkers, next thing you know, Dodo and Fergus are standing there with ales, getting their drinks refilled by random passerbys. And in some case, with this performance, you see somebody walk past this tiefling when in like this blue coat with crazy horns that go back and like wrap around it into his head. He comes by with a bottle of one of those $25,000 quesavas, and he just pours in each of your glasses and continues on like, well done. And like there is some serious coin that gets dropped in, and people do actually watch and see how far you guys can go getting drunk. And there are those who are absolutely, hey, let's go. Come on, bottoms up. Every time somebody with a wig walks past, take a drink, kind of games that start happening. And I'm going to need a constitution
I was
saving
about to
throw from
ask
both
about
of
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have advantage against poison. Does that come into effect?
you. No, not when it's
Okay.
self-invited.
No.
Oh, I think I can do it over here.
Believe it or not, my con's pretty good.
Ooh, 26.
21.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, you guys are higher end adventurers. You know how to handle this stuff, and you're able to just keep going. Every time somebody with the wig walks past, and you're getting real annoyed at whoever that chancellor is on the screen with like this like white wig, coming down for his thing, because that screen sometimes moves around to get to different spots, and these little orbs like crystal balls will appear and zoom in on different people in the crowd. And with your little bit, you find that you guys are a bit on the Teletron, as it were. You get the little divining orb catch you, and you see yourselves on the screen for a moment, as with like them talking about festival goers having a great time and cutting loose. And there's a shot of Fergus up there, like with the small gnome on his back. But these things are happening, and you spend about 15 minutes, easily refilling up a small little tin of or bag that you guys want for some extra gold tips for a quick performance of literally just drinking contest and comedy with Zalin here.
It's great. I would have been doing this anyway.
Well, at least this way you made a little bit of coin, maybe for a stay if we need to stay. But I'm figuring I'm actually pretty darn sure that we're all here for the same person. So, Flani? Yeah?
Hey, I was going to ask earlier, it's this place that we're supposed to go to. You think it's a bit of a dive bar, or you think it's going to be fancy like the rest of this?
Well, if it's fancy, we can, and he'll just kind of gesture, and a cloak will be like of royal purple with gold and white trim. We can dress for the occasion.
Well, you can. I just got my shiny purple plate mill.
Well,
better be good kill already.
At least it looks nice on you.
Oh, thank you.
There
I appreciate that. Well, let's go then. Let's go. We've got an appointment to keep. I think we've got a favor to return.
I think Dodo's right. Let's head that direction.
So you're looking for the Silken Veil Tavern. And, normally I would ask you guys for a perception check. Mostly because it is curious to see what happens if you get lost and how late you are. So I think I'm going to do that. Because there is a timetable here.
It's like normally, I'm going to do
okay,
it.
yeah.
Like, okay. So,
Yep. I saw that change happen in the middle of that sentence.
Right.
Let's
Fergus
see.
not good at perception.
Natural 20.
Surprise.
I got a 3.
I got a natural 22, I think. Yeah, I got a natural 20 as well. 25.
I'm like, guys, it's off this way. I'm really, really sure everyone it's this way.
So what catches Tristan's attention is that you're walking and you look up at the higher levels of the disc, and as a blade singer, you see incredible amounts of arcane magic and different kinds of lighting up on the bits. You see like gates and planar entities like archons walking into some of the higher levels, being almost summoned indirectly, and
Clearly.
You're looking up there.
That's the way we have to go.
Right.
Because
you're
where
like,
the important people are going, we're important people.
And Zalin and Dodo are standing next to, on the main thoroughfare, there was like a building, and then there was a building with like big performances and like the balcony, and people are outside hanging on top, drinking and like cheering on the crowds below. And in the middle, there's a small alleyway, and the only thing that's a door is a silken veil door. And the two of you are standing right next to it. You've been drinking outside of it the whole time now. And you're like, oh, Silken Veil Tavern. That's literally a silken.
It's right there.
Right there.
No, it's got to be over there.
Oh.
Look.
No, I look at the silken, look
Listed.
back.
But literally
Look
the
back.
softest thing I've ever felt. Look at this.
All right.
Amazing.
But all the interesting things are going that way.
When have I ever tried to stab you? Just trust me. It's this way.
If I were a different man, that would scare me. But I trust you. Mostly. But I trust you. And I'll start slowly wandering back that direction.
Tristan, you're a belter. Let's go.
Tucked away from all the splendor between these two buildings, this violet curtain is something that you're able to pull aside and start walking down this very narrow alleyway to get to. And the moment you enter beyond this curtain, the sound of the festival behind you fades away completely. Inside, you hear a beautiful orcish love song being sung in like this incredibly sultry voice. And as you move closer in, you start seeing dancing lights above you, and the theme and feel of the crowd changes. It's no longer this element of, hey, we're here to party, big festival, let's go. You've actually walked into a place where the performer who's singing is really, really good. And there is some like, wow, this is a very inspiring bard that's singing. And you walk into the tavern through this long alleyway corridor to an open courtyard tavern with apartment buildings lining the outside. It's has a very smell of a vanilla pipe tobacco, kind of floating into the air. You can see the night sky clearly. There's these fairy lights that move to provide a very dim lighting. Each of the tables that are here are very select and small, maybe lit by candlelight. And on the stage is just one performer, and she is this beautiful half-orc with dreadlocks going down, and she's singing this song in Orcish. And if any of you guys speak it, it's a tragic tale of heartbreak and star-crossed lovers trapped between different planes. And you make it barely into the point where a hostess would normally grab you when Fergus gets his wrist grabbed. And you quickly look over, and there's this young tiefling, maybe about 19 years old, with short horns, blue skin, like a bunch of ear piercings and like wizard robes on. She grabs her hand and goes, Fergus, Tristan, Dodo, looks around. There she is. Okay, Zelen, hi.
And Tristan will gesture towards Fergus, the man, the myth, the belly.
Can I ask really fast, what does Zelen look like?
So Zelen is about 3 feet tall. She has her hair up. It's dark. It's not quite black, but it's dark, and it's pulled back off of her face. She has on black leathers, and she has very visible daggers in very reachable spots, multiple ones.
Can I just say, I love that description.
Short bow strung behind her back, across her back.
Oh wow, she is an assassin.
Very visible daggers in very accessible places. I'm like, well, noted.
But Alice grabs Fergus's hand and starts just almost whisking you guys away to a private table that she had already set up. And as she turns and walks away, you could see her kind of like skipping in her step as she's tugging this dragonborn with you, like, no, you're coming with me. And she's, her back is definitely like this short pixie cut that's all been dyed. She has more belts and spell components and more pouches than any wizard has any right to actually need. And even the spell book she has is this oversized spell book that's like flopping on her hip as she brings you to the table and sits you guys down. The moment she sits you guys down, she says, all right, I'm going to need 2 Firebrand whiskeys, 3 Moroccan Bazaars. And she just starts ordering you guys cocktails and appetizers and food galore as you guys are sitting down and even getting started before she says hi. But everything you guys could want, she instantly starts buying.
Oh, she's speaking our language. Very
Apparently.
You could do with a bit of scran.
All
It's
right.
great opening, by the way. Great
You got any
opening.
dragas?
What's that? What's that, Fergus?
You got any dragas?
Oh,
on the
me?
menu?
Oh,
Is that dragon stomach stuff with William Ballard? That's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dragon haggis.
Fergus, you just need another bevy. You just need another bevy.
Dragon haggis. I think
mean, we use
can
pseudo
get this. And Alice looks just a bit concerned. She's like,
Pseudo dragons.
maybe
Not a
couple
real
times."
dragon. It's too fucking big. We use pseudo dragons.
You're off your head.
It's more bite size.
You're completely off your head. Just bring him
Aye.
another bevy, it'll be fine. Just fill up his elbow.
No, I will keep you guys as gleefully inebriated as I need for this job that you're about to take on.
See, I don't know if I trust that point of view right there, because if we're doing a job you want us drunk, I have to question my rates.
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
That's because you haven't heard the job yet.
I'm not as good as a wink to a
I'm
blind
better when I'm
cat.
drunk.
Do you have ice piss?
Ooh, no. I don't think they serve ice piss anywhere in this massive desert.
All right. Well, I had to try.
That's great. That's
Right?
nice.
All right, a bit rank anyway.
But I
Well,
do
what's
like
this
the
job?
I do like the dark game that goes with the ice piss. But this job here, okay, so let me resettle myself. And she kind of like gives the singer a quick glad eye. She catches just a moment of the song because it is a high-end performance. She's like, 1 second. Okay, so the reason I think you guys might need some good food and some good ale is here in the city, the grand invocation is about to happen. It's actual work. And I'm not sure how much Vlania has filled you in. Has she given you any details tonight?
What is the grand invocation?
So no details. Got it. Right. That's usual. And she pulls out her wizard book and flips to some notepads of like a checklist of things to go down. And she's like, okay, well, so the grand invocation is actually in several days, but this festival is all leading up to it. It's performed every 100 years. Salvata puts on a contest to determine who has the best performance to perform before the very deities themselves. And it's done on the highest disc. And when this is done, the gods bless the city and the waters of Kesava here that imbue it with magical property, that this entire arcane architecture is held impossibly aloft by the performances that happen every 100 years. It goes without saying, whoever wins the games not only gets a divine reward, but Salvata immortalizes them in history.
Are you
So is
saying
that-
that? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
Doug.
I was just curious. Like, is that the same stuff those guys are selling down the street for 25,000? That's like real deal.
That's a bit much, and I'll get into that one. But yes, it is a real deal. Kesava is an actual sacred source of water here in the city.
No, are you saying that if the performances don't go as planned, that the whole city could just collapse in on itself? You say that it's that's magically held aloft based on the performances. Are we in danger here?
Well, I mean, it's been around for 1,000 years, and it hasn't collapsed
Oh, it's probably
yet.
fine then.
Probably
fine.
The only time that it has failed, was in the 3rd century. The Druids tried to get up and do some performance, and well, Druids don't perform anymore.
Just don't. Nobody let Fergus sing. Don't let him sing. We'll be fine.
It depends on how drunk he gets.
No, somebody stop him! I see some shakes. It's shaking.
She kind of like cringes, and she's like, "Unfortunately, I'm gonna need you guys to sing."
I play the papes.
What?
Wait, you're serious?
Yeah. So listen, here is what we have for you.
Okay.
It goes without saying that every century, the stakes of this contest keep getting higher and higher and higher. And this is the 1,000th year, the ceremony. And it's the final grand invocation towards the Grand Chancellor's like final capping stone disc. After this, the city doesn't get any higher. Most of the groups that have been trying to qualify for a spot in the contest are legitimate bard performers and legitimate people that actually want that fame and function.
I'm glad you're casting a divider between us and legitimate performers. We should set the expectation now.
Right.
Oh no, I've been playing the papes for a year.
Oh, your bum's out the window there.
You want me to sing? I've been saying your bum's out the window.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, maybe a pipe performance can work, but it's okay. I don't need you guys to win. I just need you to go on stage, because here's what's happening. There are 30 spots into the grand invocation, and there has been a group of, well, I don't really want to mention their name or talk about them too much, but they're very emeraldy and they're kind of like a cult. She kind of like whispers and she takes a drink when she does that, even here. But she says that,
Emeraldy.
yeah, they make and take these potions and sell them at ridiculously high prices and get people lured into their network, and they're trying to use this city as their own personal playground, as it were. Well, I don't know all of the details on that. I don't want to get into them here, but we think they've been eliminating and getting other bands kind of edged out of the competition and filling them with their own spots. Now, Vlania, last minute, literally a day ago, has managed to secure one spot for you guys to keep warm. And we need you to go on stage and just make it through the next round. The reason why we want you guys is if the other bands are being assassinated and if the other bards are being taken out of commission beforehand, we need people who know how to stab back, if you catch the drift.
Well, you can just send this one down there below. You go send her by yourself. She'll be fine. She'll stab them all, whether they need it or not.
I mean, that's the plan. We need people who can take action and take initiative if something goes off there. A lot of these bands that have been focused on their performance for the past 100 years, this is their shot. They're distracted. We need somebody who can keep their eyes open and look around at what's happening while you're on the stage. We know, I don't plan on you guys. Please drink. We only got like an hour before the performance. So fill up in food and be as toasty as you need to go on stage in front of thousands and thousands of people across multiple planes of reality all throughout the entire cosmos, because this is a very big show.
Well, I think you want the right people, really.
So I've got a question.
Hey.
Why don't we just slip a little bit of something into some drinks and these other performers before the show?
My question is, you're saying that they're selling these potions that are at a exorbitant price and getting people hooked. Might they be pouring little samples into people's jugs and tankards?
Oh yeah, everything always starts with a free sample.
Well,
maybe I need a refill.
You always get one, Dodo. You always get one. The rest is going to cost you.
Maybe I'll get something different.
Wait. So that dude out there most likely just poisoned me?
Oh no, I wouldn't call it poison. I would. Wait, you didn't take a free sample, did you?
Yes.
You are in the habit of randomly accepting free samples of exotic liquid of which unknown contents in the middle of a festival.
Well, some people
a very
also,
special episode.
Some people also poured a bunch into Fergus's cup.
Most waters of Quesava are perfectly fine, but if it was something with a high price tag, it might very well eventually it will keep you going. It will make you more. I can't get too much into the details. I can tell you so much, but their eyes and ears are everywhere.
It makes me
But I guess get me a refill on your jug. Let's just use your jug. We know it's safe.
All right.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it.
Vendor's in danger of meeting the wrong end of a dagger or 7. He looks at Zalen.
And besides, if you did take a sample vial, I'm pretty sure that means that we know who's selling, and later on we can go back, find him, and figure out where he's getting it.
How do you not know who's selling? The guy's out there hawking it for $25K a dose. Like, walk outside. Listen, you'll hear him
right outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I've been in here a while, waiting for you guys to show up. So,
I could be right back.
Yeah, she could.
You could. What time is it? Do any of you have a time dial? She pulls out she pulls out this pocket watch and goes, you could. We only have an hour before you're supposed to be on stage, though.
What do we need to go?
So the reason it's more important that you go on stage is because if we have an hour to get on stage. I have recruited backup performers to help you guys so that you could at least, put on a decent show. You have to come up with the band name and get ready to do that. So we can come up with a band name while we're walking there, and maybe you could grab the Barker and we'll just drag him with us. And
Tristan, you remember when we were back in Waterdeep and we saw that performer, that singer, she had those two backup performers dressed up as sharks. Remember that? That left shark was amazing.
You tell me you want a shark costume?
The backup dancers are going to get for us. Make them dress up as sharks. It's brilliant.
You know what? In that case, we should be the Waterdeep Quartet.
I'm fine with whatever band name you guys want to come up with. And what are you guys going to do on stage?
We have no clue, but it'll be interesting.
Oh, I come from the...
No, anything but singing.
We can sing 99 bottles of ale on the wall.
I mean...
Well, maybe we can have Zalin. Maybe we can have Zalin throw daggers at things.
Why don't we get you introduced to your potential backup band and recruit members and figure out, based off what they have, what you want to do.
Or the Waterdeep Whalers.
Or
just struck me
like
inspiration-wise from the ether.
I was going to say Thunderstroke. And I can call lightning during the performance.
Look at that, so can I.
I mean, not actually call lightning, but I can.
But I will if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I could look like there's lightning. All right.
Oh, Zaylin and the daggers.
Zaylin and the daggers. That's got a nice ring to it, actually. She looks down at you, and it's perfect because everything is always on these weird divining orbs that Calrath has. So you're always going to look big on screen as you're broadcast throughout all the planes.
I mean, then no one's going to suspect me because they're looking up instead of looking down. Okay, done. Sold.
Anyway, you guys don't have to win. You don't have to beat the other bards at their performances that they've been practicing. And it's not about winning. It's about just making it to the next round. The backup bands that we've secured for you guys, you pick which one you want. And as long as you just do okay, they should hopefully carry you through. But once you guys are done, the real band that Vlania has hired is going to be able to come in and take and ride with the performance from there. So you guys won't have to worry about that. Instead, we'll probably get you guys involved with finding out more about what's going on because these stakes are really big.
What if we do it really good?
Well, if you do really good, then keep at it. You guys,
That's
none of you are bards.
Fergus, it'll be fine. It'll just be like a regular adventuring group. The real heroes will carry you through. You don't have anything to worry about.
Yep.
But on top of that, though, like to address that rather insulting statement, you don't have to be a bard to be able to tell a good story, play an instrument, or just be awesome. So, are you doubting the awesome of Zalin?
Oh, no, I'm not doubting the awesome of Zalin, but
I felt like there was some doubt
careful.
there.
You do Zalin at your own risk.
I mean,
Right.
it's not all performances of singing. I mean, I guess you guys could go up there and put up an entire crowd, do an incredible acrobatic assassination mission as a performance. You don't actually have to perform in that capacity.
I do macrame in my spare time.
See?
That's a bit of a secret, though.
See?
Don't necessarily tell
Like we
anybody
can
that.
do performance macrame. And he can play the bagpipes. And he'll gesture to Fergus, and I can play, and I'll whip out the lyre and strum it really quick. So,
I mean, I might be able to do some magic.
That was my before I got the chance to bring you guys over here. It was probably just going to be me up on stage performing a small little magic trick with a rabbit in a hat and raising the dead.
Like, wait, what?
I like how the NPC has clearly stated they do not give a shit what we do on stage or what we're called. We just have to be on stage.
But now it's personal.
But we keep pitching things. We keep pitching things, waiting for some kind of affirmation. But it's like it's been clearly stated, like, do not care, just be physically on the stage.
Let's go.
All right.
Figure out what we want to do.
She grabs this time Zellen's hand as she pulls you out, turns around and grabs another one of the jugs and brings it with her, like
That's a good way to lose a hand.
Just slams it down, and she'll like take you guys back out of the Soak and Vel Tavern. And in doing this, she's like taps an old sundial a few times and is like, right, well, we've got enough time to make introductions to a few groups, but not everyone. You guys can put on whatever act you guys want, and I will help pay for everything that you need: rooms, boards, equipment, backup, simple coins, spellcraft, whatever you need, I will pay. But most of the judges and people watching can't be bought, so we'll have to get creative. And most of these guys that you're going to recruit, these bands, they're going to want favors. So I'll help with coin, but that's about as much as I can do.
But you already said you have a backup band already.
I have 3 lined up that are looking for hire, and you just got to close the deal and figure out which one you want.
Well, can you tell us about them?
I think it's better if you just see them yourself. And as she's pulling you through the crowds and going through, you see more and more people taking seats around this big amphitheater. And the Belladonna Amphitheater sits in the middle of District 1, and big Roman white columns with lush greens and rare plants that haven't grown anywhere else in the desert for 1,000 years adorn a deadly nightshade lines, sometimes even up high on the ceilings. The Belladonna Amphitheater, you even hear and see on the little signs at God's Place where Bards' dreams go to die, as this is the proving ground in Salvata. And she stops you before you guys would walk into a backstage, and she asks for each, can I have your hands? And she pulls out a bottle of quesava that looks a little bit different than the one the guy was selling. This one is definitely almost pure gold. She says, can I see your hands real quick?
Sure. Tristan will put out his right hand.
This is the purest source and purest form of quesava in the city. It is incredibly rare, and this marks your entry into the Grand Invocation. And she puts 1 drop on the back of your palms, and almost like a magical symbol, like your stamp to get into an exclusive event, kind of appears on the back of your hand as you are marked as a performer. And with this entry, you guys are allowed to go start heading towards the backstage.
As we walk, I'm just going to Fergus, you've made it. You're making big time now. Look at this gold on the back of your hand.
I try to bite it, see if it's real gold, and it hurts. Ow.
So as you guys are getting towards that backstage, you see other bands and other backup bands, bards that are trying to get in, people that are trying to be like, oh, I can help, I can help with stagecraft, I can help with this. And, you're in one aisle with fences, and there are other bards that clearly look like legendary bards walking up, and they have an entourage with them, or sometimes they're even just a small rock troupe that happen to make the cut. There's other types of bands that are making their way up, and sometimes they are stopping to talk to them. There are 3 groups sort of off to the side, and Alice kind of nudges you guys in their directions, and she says, okay, the little group of drunkards are called Pixie Power. And there is about 6 or 7 pixies all around 2 mugs of ale with drinking little bits from there, as they're just bullshitting and harassing people, and doing you're awesome. No, you were terrible.
I like Deasons.
Right up her alley.
So she says, Pixie Power, that's one group. And then there are 4 creatures that look like they're half elemental, and they look kind of metal, right? They have,
Literally or figuratively?
Yes.
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 They have. They're definitely wearing like scale mail armor. It's like black with like all kinds of adornments and like face paint on. And she's like, those are the 4 horsemen. One of them has like flaming hair. Another one, is like this elf with very like frozen features on them. And she's like, those are the 4 horsemen. And that group, and you look, your eyes kind of like see these 2 groups, and then you see a crowd of some of the most gorgeous people ever. They're all in very revealing clothing, both male and female, and everything in between. This group looks like they are ready to hype things up. And it's like 30, 40 people that are standing around. They're like, that's half elf hype.
As much as I like the half elves, they don't have much to hype, guys. Let's be honest here.
Fake for yourself.
Fergus and I maybe don't quite fit in with such the beautiful ones. You know what I mean? But maybe the drunken little pixies, maybe.
That's the point. Half elf hype is
we're gorgeous.
Hype you guys up and get the audience charged for whatever you're doing. Why don't you go talk to him and make deals? And she like nudges Dodo forward a bit. And it was like
toward the half elves?
Towards any of the groups. She's like towards all 3. Like,
okay.
Go recruit.
I don't know if I'm the best throat man. I'm a bit ugly, really.
He's drunk and delicate. Be careful.
You guys have your band name, right?
Right.
Yes. Daggers.
Yeah. Of course we do.
Okay, good. And you know what kind of show you're putting on, right? All right, good, fantastic.
Yeah.
Smiles on. You are elite bardic performers now. Go do this bit because I can't go talk to them because I don't have, that.
Right, Tristan, go.
No, hey.
He like cheers you on from like the background.
You got this. It's golden. Don't sweat it at all. You have a good one, guys. What the hell are we doing?
I don't know.
You just turn. Like I can play the lyre, but it doesn't really go well with the bagpipes.
I'm off my trolley, to be honest with you. Amongst these,
I'm gonna go say hi. That's my favorite band over there. It's Critical Hit.
Critical Hit.
Oh, there's
that's your league.
There's magic mist in the cantrips.
But
all right,
Alan, we're named after you. So what do you want to do?
Right? Fergus, what do you play?
The pipes.
Okay, the pipes. Dodo, what do you do?
Macrame, bonny lass.
Because you like clank the little needles together.
I
like a percussion.
Can you
well, it's I really just make macrame. It's my hobby.
But just like clink, clink, clink.
Okay.
Well, maybe I've never tried that. I could do it off my armor, maybe.
I mean, yeah.
Use yourself as a broom.
I'm willing to try anything new.
Wait a minute. Macrame, can you adjust that to something else? Like, could you do some sort of like performance art with it? Like living performance art?
You're sure? I might need about a week to make something that would be performance art, but I can do it. About a week.
No. Like, you're going to make something while we perform.
Sure, I can do that.
While we perform. So you have like half an hour to figure out.
All right, well, I better get to work then, really. He sits down and pulls out his needles. And
as Ellen says that, there is a stage announcer on stage, like, half an hour, the show begins.
I just said that. All right.
Maybe I can use the smith's tools. All right.
Okay, or is there maybe something that you can create in this short amount of time for the stage?
Well, you know what? I don't really like to say this, but I can dance as well.
Well, why didn't you say that before?
Well, it's a bit difficult in this heavy plate armor, but it's shiny and pretty, and I like it. It's under the lights, it gets a bit hot, but it's really pretty.
It is shiny and pretty. Do you want to take it off?
Take it off. You're talking to a dwarf. We don't take off our armor unless we're going to sleep.
All right. So can you move like a pixie in it, or can you move like a dwarf in it?
What are you trying to say to me?
Like
Fergus, tell her about the time. Tell her about the time.
Came out. Dodo.
In Luskin.
Take it off. Let your southern beard hang out.
What? No. You're off your trolley. Tell them about the time in Luskin. Tell them about the time you met the Cyclops and you taught him to be a pirate and you wrapped the thing around the eye patch around his eye. You made him. You stole off with his gold.
I think we really need the shark backup dancers.
Alice is sitting there like in the background, like biting her nails, like looking at the stage, looking at you guys, looking at the band, looking at the stage, looking at you guys, looking at the band.
I just look over and give her a thumbs up.
There I was with the Cyclops, and I thought, oh, I got an idea. So I get the patch, and I gave him a pirate, right? I was like, "You want to be a pirate?" And I covered it, but here's the thing: the Cyclops only got one eye.
Aye, he's smart on that one.
So I covered the patch, and they couldn't say.
And we stole all his gold. That's brilliant. It's bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
okay, right. So you can dance.
Aye.
If you want to.
Okay.
I might need a refill though, Fergus.
Okay, yeah.
All right, I can dance now.
All right. If you can dance,
just don't leave your friends behind.
Want to perform with us?
Maybe the Pixies at that point.
I think the Pixies.
That's
Where's me mind?
The drinking ones, okay.
Because Pixies, you're the magical one. What do Pixies do? I know the little wee things, but are they magical?
Yeah.
Maybe they can make us look prettier or something.
Could we do a reel?
A what?
A folk reel, like Irish dance.
Oh, I thought you meant one of those slideshows we used to watch in elementary school.
No. It's a reel. It's a repetitive rhythm where you can actually like do things like folk dancing with it. The rhythm and the tempo and the music doesn't quite change as much. The lyrics can actually change though.
Oh,
I can sing.
I mean, Fergus could, despite his girth, possibly prove very quick and nimble on his feet, considering he's wearing winged boots.
Fergus, show us the tribal dance of your people. I remember seeing that once. Go give us a performance. Maybe let us see.
Yeah, he starts. I mean, I want to save the winged boots. So, but no, he clicks his heels and they start flying, and then he's like really crazy nimble because he's basically like hovering above the ground, like inches.
Why don't we do coordinated dancing lights with the dance?
Yeah, that totally works.
The stagehand who's at the back door puts out a last call for any bands that are out there. Get in stage, get in line.
Okay, well, let's go grab the Pixies.
Yeah, let's go talk to the Pixies.
Yeah.
Hello. The Pixies. My name is Dodo. This is Fergus. This is Arlen. This is Tristan. We're looking for partners.
Are you one of the little pixies like looks over, sees Alice in the background. Oh, you're with, yeah, okay. Yeah. She said that you guys
squarely won.
Had a chance to get his work. Yes. We're Pixie Power. We are the best pyrotechnics and stagehands that you guys will ever have. We're invisible. You won't see us. We're not on stage. We'll make you look fantastic. We'll put up lights. We'll make you fly. We'll make you all sparkle and twinkly. Whatever you need. And Gem there is fantastic at preventing against magical sabotage.
That's what we got to worry about.
I know that the 4 horsemen are awesome at music, and half-elf hype. Who really needs hype men, right? You need to make your performance look badass, right?
You not need to sell it. We chose you.
You're one of us now.
Don't you want to know what we want?
Nah.
We're good for it.
Well, we're going to tell you anyway, because
all right.
otherwise this happens to us a lot. So nobody notices the people behind the band. When everybody does a performance, it's the stagehands, the techs, everybody else that kind of like gets left out. So when you're done with your performance and you're doing interviews with Calrath and other people, we want you to, let them know that Pixie Power is your stagehand team. Like, we helped you with that. And you have to pay for our hotel bar tab.
I'll also be happy to do that.
You're just wee ones anyway. You probably don't drink that much. It's no problem.
Don't challenge them on that.
There is just a bit of like a grin, and Crystal like slaps Jem real quick. Jem's like,
No, you're a smaller individual, but you drink a lot. Let's not put anything beyond them. Just saying.
So,
but Alice will be happy to handle that bill.
Alice will be happy. Alice, when she sees that you've hired Pixie Power, you actually see her pull out a stack of gold and start counting. That's a large, almost one platinum of gold into a different pocket. Like, okay, that's going to be needed for later. But there is a mechanical boon for you guys that you guys as players should know by having Pixie Power as your backup. There are a group of stage technicians comprised entirely of pixies, and these feisty companions are your ultimate stage hands. When you're performing on stage, you have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. In reality, what's really happening is these tiny pixies are swooping in and fixing things that go wrong while they're invisible, so that your performance goes on unhindered and unchallenged.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All
I
right.
think they're calling us through the door. Do we need to go?
So what are we doing, guys? Is it going to be Fergus dancing in the air? Because I'm fine with that.
Okay.
They can dance and play the papes.
Perhaps an acrobatic show during that time?
I mean, I could do acrobatics. I can do dancing. I can do singing.
What about?
I like we haven't discussed what song. We're like, yeah, you'll sing your dance.
We can sing, and I can play the lyre while he plays the pipes and rises into the air. We can make.
I mean,
we're gonna make you a
everybody loves the
star.
mosh pit, right?
I think we got the wrong band for that.
Not necessarily.
Okay, what's your idea?
I mean, people like a lot of movement on stage, right? And a lot of things going on stage. So what if we have like a movement show where we showcase movement with music?
Sure. I am fine with that. This is out of my league. I'd be usually just playing and telling stories, but this is a bit different than sitting by the hearth at some tavern. So,
I mean, we
Right. So
if we
I've got the feeling the fix is in.
as you guys are talking and you
Mhm.
walk fully into the backstage, right? Outside, night has fully descended now upon the Belladonna Theater, and the Salvatan government extinguishes all lights throughout the city and nearby buildings. Only the Belladonna, the theater, even from backstage, you can peek out and see this big crowd that's out there, but it's becoming complete. Like, you see the candle lights and the orbs throughout the city shutting off as this is the first performance of the Grand Invocation.
yay.
Alice comes up to you guys backstage and she brings you guys a bag of holding each, and she's like, listen, stage fright at the Belladonna is so common, they've invented themed bag of holdings to purge any purge before you get stage fright. I got one myself, but here you guys go.
First off, gross. Second off, brilliant. Just putting it out there.
But backstage,
No. I see your face.
backstage is filled with chaos, though. 30 bands are making up their final preparations for their acts. Even the most experienced bards have their hands shaking in anticipation, and some of them do appear like in a stoic, quiet calm. Alice does her best in the final moments to like re-sew something on your armor. Like she fixes a spot on Dodo's plate mail and polishes up something, adds a dagger to Zalin, even in a more easily accessible spot. Like she tries her best to help as you guys are getting ready. And behind the scenes, special Salvatan guards come and bring a Cassava wine glass for all bands who are performing. And 5 minutes before the show begins, everybody backstage gives like a big cheer to the grand invocation, and you're all treated to a full glass of pure Cassava. This also has a buff to it. You first off can concentrate on 2 spells at once for the next hour. And it definitely channels your arcane abilities and helps. And you guys, once you go on stage, you can benefit from the effects of the haste spell for a minute, as well as this will enhance your stage performance.
So it's cocaine.
Pure Cassava, thank you.
Well, that's just changed that for me forever.
Cassava just became something new.
Yep.
I didn't know this is going to happen. But
it's canon.
It's canon.
So, but as you place the cup to your lips, you have the tonic go through, and it rejuvenates your very essence. And this divine sweet ambrosia is actually so delicious it leaves everybody backstage breathless. And this is the blessing that the gods bestows upon the city. And sure enough, right as the final lights dim, you see the crystal orbs and you see the gates appear, and you realize that the performances outside are about to be broadcast across all of the realms out to anybody who can tune in and watch what's happening.
No pressure, guys. No pressure.
The opening band. The opening band is a group of 6 bards called Violet Magic, and they go on with sound amplifying magic and the power of Cassava behind them. They practically glow on stage as they channel the divine energies of Salvata into their performance. They play a fiery song depicting a queen's army standing strong in the face of the abyss that opens up beneath the stage, with like tentacle and black abyssal effects coming up underneath as they have acting troops help support this performance. Their performance checks are in the 50s. And
No pressure, guys. No pressure.
The second act is something completely different entirely. A College of Illusion bard walks onto stage, and a seemingly solo act at first, with just a small candlelight around him, tells an epic tale of a gold dragon hunting red dragons until he has killed so many red dragons that his scales run red with blood, becoming the monster in turn that is hunted. The show, though, even though it starts off with one man with a riveting tale, you don't even realize that the effects started happening as, grand shows of magic and illusion begin weaving the tale almost seamlessly out throughout the audience, moving through and encapsulating everything that is happening. It's such a captivating tale that when you guys finally look around, you realize that there's people with rope pulleys and actual practical effects, and this one solo act has an entire stagecraft team helping do things even out in the audience to get this effect of this tale up, and they're working in perfect harmony. Again, their performance is legendary. And that's when Alice says, "Okay, you're up." and you four get pushed onto stage. Alice has chewed off her fingernails at this point, and the cue from the stagehands that okay, you're up. Time to perform this. It's now your chance, and the four of you get stumbled on stage, and Pixie Power is there. Like Gem and Crystal on each side of the stage give you a thumbs up, and they're like, "We got you," and they're ready to go.
What are we doing?
Right. Well, that moment of what are we doing? That first bit of stage shot, completely unprepared, is actually your first skill challenge. Stage fright is a very real problem, and especially when faced with such a large audience that you see after two big performances. Everyone make me a wisdom DC saving throw, or DC 15 saving throw.
Oh.
Wisdom.
I get a plus 10 to it, and I got a 14.
I got a 9
Nat
because my dice love me.
That's a crit.
I got
Crit.
you know.
All right. So you guys come on stage, and two of you, have that moment of, oh wait, we're actually in the spotlight. As you see yourselves on like divination screens throughout the audience, and feel
Staring at me for me to murder anybody.
Right?
now Fergus, you're like, oh, this is great. I got this. And Tristan, you're like, okay, well, what are we going to do? But if you failed your roll, you have disadvantage on the next bit. Now, what happens is as you guys each come on stage, you have a chance. How do you guys describe to me your performance here? What do you guys do with this improv? How are you going to come on stage? Are you each going to walk on individually, especially now that two of you have stage fright? When you walk on stage, what do you do? How are you going to do your opening act performance? And I will ask you for a roll at the end, but it's not going to be just a straight performance. It might be based off whatever you describe. If you add in magic to it, if you add in some kind of effect to it, you don't have to just rely on charisma. Any of your skill rolls are going to be applicable. But you're there, you have that tension, you see what happens when everyone's out there, and you're like, it's our turn. We got to go.
Dodo just freezes. He's just
like,
standing there in his big purple armor and just freezes like a statue.
Could I just notice that, or do I have to roll to see if I know?
No, you can totally notice it.
Okay, I noticed that, and I just kind of loop my arm up around like under his like here, and I kind of like hoist him up with one arm.
Awesome.
Like, come on, lad, we got this, and I just kind of march us out there very confidently.
Okay.
Just waving, smiling.
So you got a natural 20 on your stage fright check. So give me a you're gonna be like this charm of like, hey, we got this. There's the two of us. We were the dynamic duo that was already drinking out, mingling with the crowd earlier on. Go ahead and give me either a diplomacy or a performance or a persuasion check. You're entirely your choice. And you can use Constitution if you want because of your earlier drinking performance that you guys had done earlier on. But roll with advantage.
Okay. So I could, if I wanted, I could use my con save
modifier. Your con modifier. You can use your con modifier.
Con modifier. Oh, okay. Well, performance is still the best there. Okay. With advantage. All right. So that's good because the first one's a 4 plus 7. That's not good. That's 11. Next one is, come on, big money, big money. 16 plus 7,
Woo!
23.
Okay. 23 definitely gets the crowd like, oh, hey, they're here. They're actually going to perform. Okay, this is what's coming next. This is the warm-up act. All right, let's go. You get some cheers for the two of you. But now, what do you? I need Ray and Crystal to describe how you guys get on stage, and you're all going to have to make your role. By the way, that includes you too, Theo, on what you're going to do for your opening performance.
I got an idea now.
All right. Whoever wants to go ahead.
Okay, well, Zalin is going to freeze and like just stare at all of the people that she's not normally used to being in front of.
Okay.
And just like be stuck in the side wings, like trying to stay out of sight, out of mind.
As you are starting to stay out of sight, out of mind, a pyrotechnic explosion, a full fireball, blasts up around the stage behind Fergus McScallen and Dodo on his shoulder, as Pixie Power basically amps up your stage presence really quick to masquerade the quick moment of stage fright.
Oh.
Giving you a chance to run through the fire if you want for more dramatic entrance.
Okay. I'm gonna have to change plans here. Okay. I am going to do a knife show.
Okay. Give me a dexterity modifier roll with obviously you're like, but give it an attack roll. Just make it an attack roll.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. No. And I'm rolling with disadvantage, right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, no, definitely not. Well, with my daggers, I got a 12.
That's standard for, hey, I'm a, rookie starting off. Like, you're handling these as clumsy as you did the first day that you were taught by your gnome grandmother on how to kill people. When you were, a tiny, tiny young gnome learning your craft. But Tristan, Dodo, you guys see this. You still have yet to roll your skills.
Yeah. I'm gonna walk out behind Fergus because Dodo's on Tristan's, like, he's holding him, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna use dancing lights and basically kind of throw a hand forward and say, you've seen them outside, now they're here live in front of you, and basically just try to sweat out my nervousness and just throw everything into it. So I can roll a performance.
Yeah. What with any of the 3 checks that you want that are charisma based.
Yeah, performance would be the one I would choose, definitely, because he's kind of a storyteller and showman, so I'm going to try to play that with this, even though he's like sweating bullets. And the first roll is a 22, but I have a disadvantage because I failed the first one. So let's get this next one in. And that's a 23, so 22.
Woo! Nice. With the double up of two successes over 20, the crowd, you come on out and you're like, you've seen them before, and you have this one, and people are expecting now like a comedy circus performance act, and they're like, yes. There are people at this point just ordering like tankards of mead and ale, and there's actually an image of you guys earlier now on the screens of your drinking contest in the middle of the district from only 2 hours prior. So Dodo, you're last. You determine how your group's intro goes here, because we have 2 successes and 1 failure at the moment.
You got this,
Can I
Theo.
inspire him?
Dodo, you got this. First of all,
can Ferguson use inspiration?
Him?
Yes, you can.
Oh,
All right.
oh,
I just whisper in his ear, you got this, lad.
That
It's in nothing. Think back to what we did down there up in the northern end of the Sword Coast, man. That fucking dragon turtle trying to eat the whole fucking shit we was on, right? This is nothing compared to that. You got this.
You turned it shell into a summer home. I remember.
Yeah.
All right, Dodo, we got this. He walks out and just kind of wobbles, and he uses thaumaturgy at first. It says, we'd like to thank Pixie Power, who are on the 1s and 2s tonight. Thank you very much. And now I would like to show you his Christmas 8, by the way. I'd like to show you what I can do with my mace. And he pulls his mace out, and it's a mace of disruption, so it just sheds this bright light. And then he casts Divine Strike on it, so it starts flaming. And then he casts, what's it called? I don't play clerics. He casts searing smite on it, and it glows even more with fire. And he just starts swinging it around and like maybe bashing it into the stage and putting holes into the floor and bashing it against anything he can find, and just this blaze of light causing destruction on the stage. And
Give
then,
me a definitely strength based.
Oh.
And you can add a D6 too.
all
as the
right.
inspiration.
So just a straight strength check.
Well, you're destroying this. You could do wisdom or strength. I'm okay with either.
And then a D6 on top of your roll because of
Yeah.
the inspiration.
All right, I'll just do a straight wisdom. That's an 18, and with a D6, 22. And then he just very calmly takes his mace down, and he walks to the front of the stage and goes, "Thank you very much." And he steps back.
So like this is just the intro to the performance, and the stage you like get this like massive hammer that's just got all of this energy, and you can feel the Kesava amplifying your effects because now you're able to cast 2 at once on this bit, and you start just wrecking this stage, and people don't know what to think about, like what kind of performance art is this, but like, you know, you hear cries in the audience of, you know, Salvata Revolution. And like you start hearing like people actually like really resonate with this, you know, and like the stage is just getting splintered and shattered. And when stuff gets flown up from the stage, Pixie Power does absolutely take some of the fragments and like frisbee them out to like audience members so they could catch like a piece of the belladonna that was like broken during the performance. But then like 6 more pixies will quickly come and repair that floorboard and be like,
Mending.
so like that's happening while you're on stage. And so, okay. You know, you guys definitely did not completely botch. You're feeling some pretty good about yourself because you're actually getting cheers. People are liking your performance so far. And I will ask for Zalin, who felt perhaps the most like stage fright. You're probably looking backstage a lot.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Row.
14.
Okay. I also need an Arcana check with that.
19.
Nothing ominous about that.
You like when you look backstage, like you're like looking back, you notice that Alice isn't missing, or Alice is not there at the moment. And she was there like just a second ago, like thumbs up, like you guys got this. And some other bands, it's gotten a little quieter backstage. But you know, nothing's out of the ordinary. You didn't see anything or catch anything truly grand. But when you look back outside, you look back up, you recognize that there's like pyrotechnics all throughout Salvata. And you're like, oh man, these pyrotechnics are really awesome. Somebody's actually like, they're going so far that they're casting Meteor Swarm. Right. So next round of performance, you guys are on stage. So you know, Fergus, you're in the middle of the stage, and you know, Zalin, you have noticed that, you know, Meteor Swarm is there, but and you know, they're slowly coming down, but you know, hey, pyrotechnics, cool. What are you guys doing for your performance? What's your last round? How are you closing out your show?
Fergus, bring it home.
I start playing the bagpipes.
Ooh, I will activate the Blade Song and do an acrobatic martial display in timing with the beat he's playing in the pipes.
Okay, cool. Zalin, what are you going to do for the closeout final performance as meteor swarms are slowly getting closer and closer down from the higher levels on top of you guys, about to encase you guys all in encapsulated burning fire and death?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Do I notice anybody casting anything in the backstage?
No, you didn't see anything when you looked.
Okay.
It is darker backstage, so.
How big are these meteors coming down?
At the moment, at 9th level meteor swarm, you can wipe out a few miles of city.
Fuck.
Nothing. It's nothing.
Dodo, how are you going to continue your performance?
He looks around and just starts to panic a little bit internally, and takes his little pack off and opens it up and pulls out this ropes and just starts to fiddle with the ropes and the needles and it's just doing macrame.
I just want to say, if anyone from Earth happened to fall through a portal to this dimension where this is taking place, they might recognize the tune.
Okay.
And it
I
kind
know-
of sounds
I know
like
what
Call
I'm
Me
gonna do.
Maybe.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
There are curtains and stuff like that around, right? It's like a stage, or is it like more like a Shakespearean stage where it's open?
Open air amphitheater.
Okay. I am going to. And how close are these meteors?
Well, I mean, they're impacting once you describe your action.
Okay. I am going to. I'm going to create a. Let's see here.
It'd be really cool if I actually had macrame handy.
I'm looking for something and be like,
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna create a minor illusion of me casting a firework up, so people look up.
Okay. So all of this is happening. There's the bagpipes, there's this awesome Blade song going, and you guys are just and you're doing macrame in the middle of the stage, which actually is like surprisingly such an interesting performance that people are just kind of liking the variety show. And this like illusion runs out and casts like fireballs and pyrotechnics going up. Pixie power absolutely enhances this, and some of the audience's eyes all look up, and that's when some of them look up and fire erupts throughout the entire city. Meteor swarms start crashing. You guys don't even get to finish the middle of your performance to make your skill check before death and body parts in the Belladonna Theater are blown apart. Dimensional gateways start opening up, and you start seeing massive demons and fiends come through the portal on the first level.
Jesus, they weren't kidding. They special effects. Great.
Fergus, this is what happens when you sing.
The disc that you're on itself starts to quiver and shake as the impact from the meteor swarm happens.
No, great.
People start screaming and panicking almost instantly, and there's probably about 10,000 people in this amphitheater, easy. And this crowd, these people that are here, looked up, and some of their lives were saved just briefly by the fact that they looked up, and were able to like dive for cover into something before like a fragment of a meteor like would impact down, destroy an ale cart, and like tumble down 3 or 4 bleachers. Backstage, Zelen, you hear a scream and a shriek. And when you look back again, just real quick, because you're the one closest there, you see masked men kill 2 or 3 band members and run out the back door. And you see Alice grabbed by a demon claw, yanked out the back door as well.
No.
You guys have a choice. Do you work to save the crowd, or do you pursue this? And if we're going to take
party.
Dodo would want to save the crowd. Dodo wants to save everybody. Fergus, come on. People need help.
Can we get pixie power to help with the crowd?
Yes, they will help in what way they can.
Yeah, I'm going after the demon.
Is there anyone I can hit with my sword?
Okay, so whenever Dodo managed to cast the multiple spells simultaneously, was that because of the case Sava?
Yes.
Can we cast 2?
Yes, you can concentrate on 2 spells at once.
I know what I'm going to do. Since we need to kind of gather ourselves, and Zala wants to go after that group, I'm going to cast Arcane Gateway. Arcane Gate right by us and right in front of the demon so that she can go after that and hit it. and then I'm going to cast Wall of Force over the most vulnerable looking population, so that at least they get some protection before they get to shelter.
Okay. We'll do actual like initiative, and once we figure out some things with there, you're able to do that right off the start though to provide some cover, and you open up an arcane gate. You Zalan are able to pop through just to see this group of basically Emerald Cabal assassins with like these green masks and like blade poison daggers sheathing away, and their cloaks are changing, and they're actually like remasking themselves back to being like alter self or polymorph back into regular citizens. And it actually looks more like they even captured the souls of the bands that they had killed. But Alice is getting pulled up into the sky by like a winged demon. Up above on the second disc in the center of the city, you, because you're the one who takes this arcane gate out here at this moment, sees the small flicker of flame from the meteor swarm component from somebody standing on a disc level above you, where he had cast it from near the central pillar. And you realize that those assassins and that demon is carrying Alice off in that direction, but you hear the chaos of the crowd behind you. And you know that every other band and performer that's there are just bards. Or like, not like bards like, oh, I'm an adventurer bard, like I'm just a performer kind of bard. You are the only people that are there at the scene. And you have a choice. If you leave and go chase after this, you totally can. You're probably going to get information, and you're probably going to figure out what's really happening. But a lot of people are going to die because of that choice.
I mean, there's 4 of us, though. So,
but there's
you know,
10,000 people.
Farragus, you know what happened last time we
D&D.
split the party?
That's right. Good things, only good things, right?
This is that storyteller warning of you can do it. It's just there's going to be consequences from a party split.
Farragus, remember the last time we stuck together? We were able to get on top of that beholder and tie all its eye stalks together. We can do that kind of thing again.
I elf braided one of the 2 of them.
It was quite beautiful, really. Even put the little bow on it, which I thought was a nice touch. We've got to save these people.
I am going to need an answer very quickly, though, because initiative is about to start. Because right now, meteor swarms and showers are coming down, and people are getting away. So it's
I'll do whatever he's told to do. Pretty much, I'll just say I'm most useful hitting something with a sword. Other than that, like I guess I can grab people and fly them to safety, 2 at a time.
Okay.
What if I turned you into a young adult blue dragon?
Oh,
stop it.
You could grab a couple more, people can climb on. I mean,
that's fine.
Might take
I would
some
do
damage.
that. Hey, do it.
let's save these people.
all right.
I mean,
So I'm gonna start.
Are we all on board with that?
Well, I'm going to start with just you 3, and as Zalan figures out whether or not she wants to pursue, all of you guys go ahead and give me an initiative roll, though. Okay.
So do you want me to have use those 2 spells? I'm out of 12, by the way, initiative.
Yes, because the shield is what was buying you guys time to have that initial.
Awesome. Yep. So that kicks off my level 6 spell and one of my 2 level 5s.
Okay. Question. You said I rolled a disadvantage for the first performance. Am I still at a disadvantage now or no? No. Okay. So then I have advantage on my initiative. Awesome.
I'm a 7.
I rolled a 2 for a total of 1.
You're -1. Your initiative.
I'm a big dwarf. Heavy armor. Let's waddle.
Then 18.
18? Okay.
Very nice.
Ray, what'd you get?
I got 12.
12? Okay. Zalan, you are first. You're out backstage. You are the quickest in the group. And what do you do?
Okay. I would like to. Okay. Oh man, okay. What I'm gonna do is do I have time to throw a dagger at the demon to see if I can get it to drop Alice? and then turn around back to help?
You can.
Okay.
You can also give me a Arcana check on the fiend.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I was gonna say you could send me after it to try and get her free and then come back.
Okay,
I
that's
don't
a 10.
Okay. It is not a small or weak fiend by any measure.
Okay. So I basically wouldn't be able to take it on.
Oh, I mean, you alone could probably absolutely sneak up and get an assassin strike on it. But you know, a single dagger into its hide, unless that's like a.
Do I have the ability to sneak up on it? Like it's moving, right?
It's flying away.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to sneak up or anything like that on it. All right. Okay. I'm going to. Are there any Emerald Cabal around? Well,
No, they're already on the run, and they're like dimension dooring, hopping away too.
Oh, cowards. Okay.
Does Zaylin tell us? We see the crowd is panicking and shit's going down. I don't think the other three of us have seen the fiend stealing Alice
No.
or anything like that,
And
right?
and for clarification, I can't actually polymorph you into a dragon. I thought I could, but it's a beast,
Fine.
and a dragon's a different type of creature.
Uh
Yeah, I had to double check.
All right.
Bad
I
face.
broken.
If I was told, like, I could try and save Alice and come back, or whatever you guys think. He'll do what he's told. He's not a leader.
Well, you guys have the portal. Is the portal within reach of them?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
arcane
I'll let you guys go back and forth and like even turn around and be like, look at this and go, because your first round in which you choose to go to has dramatic consequences either way.
Right.
Okay. I am going to. No, my first instinct was to try and get to Alice. So I'm going to try to get to Alice.
Okay, can you fly?
No, I can't.
And your movement speed is 20, yes?
Let's see here. Yeah.
Okay.
25.
25. All right. She is moving away much faster, but you did see something. What are you going to do to try to catch up, hinder, hurt, or get the fiend's attention as you blitz away into the streets of Salvata?
Throw a dagger at it.
All right, give me an attack roll.
All right. $22.
Okay, give me your attack with roll your damage and give me your sneak attack damage with it.
Okay. Let's see here.
You got this.
1d4. I'm going to actually roll this on the app because there's way more dice than I have. And then, come on, computer. Sorry, my computer's really slow at this.
Oh, the D&D Beyond actual dice rolling.
Yeah, just to speed
Yeah.
things up, when you roll your attack, roll your damage at the same time.
Okay. I think next time I'm just going to roll it in the app on the phone.
Yeah, I had to turn off the actual rolling dice in D&D Beyond. I think in Chrome especially, it just wasn't working for me.
Did you roll 160 damage, Crystal? What'd you get?
Why you gotta say it like that, Rick?
Damage. No, I actually rolled 40 damage though.
Woo! You are an assassin. I believe I have to make a Constitution check versus death because
Yeah.
I'm giving you your sneak attack.
Yeah.
What's the DC that I have to roll for your assassin ability?
Fail. Fucking one shot that fiend. Do it. Fucking fail, Rick. Fucking fail.
He has Bane on it too.
Kill it.
Hold on.
And while you're waiting at home, visit thebardbook.com to check out the Kickstarter. We got 2 weeks left to go.
The assassin's like, I know I kill you in some capacity, and yes, bardbook.com.
It is a. Where is it? It is a DC roll of
Oh, we're so close to 200,000. Sorry.
Actually, did we beat it?
It says 197 on my screen right now, unless I need to
Oh, are you
refresh.
serious? Let me double check.
Let me refresh.
Yeah, we're at 197.
Come on, let's put us over the edge tonight.
Let me see if I can find it in your sheet real quick, Crystal.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to find it, and I can't find it on D&D Beyond right now.
It's literally on your character sheet under class features. That's where you want to check.
Features and traits.
Features and traits.
Click features and traits, right side.
All right. Oh, I
Found
just
it.
advantage.
Baron Pawnbroker.
And
Elementello.
if I any hit I score against a creature that
Oh,
is-
it's automatically a critical hit. Okay.
Yep.
So you did 80 damage. So you actually healthily actually chunk half of this
shit.
demon's life away as this dagger flies through the air, pinches it right in the back of its skull, like the dagger shoots through its neck. It screeches and turns around and sees you, like bleeding from it, and like shuckles and holds Alice, who's got like her mouth held up and her hand is like backwards, like she's got like her hand like wrist broken, and he rips off her arm as a taunt to you and flies backwards, giving you the taunt gesture, threatening to remove more limbs from Alice if you don't follow.
Tell me he's there. Tell me he's there.
We could lightning bolt him.
Now,
It probably hit her too. So I'm just saying,
Okay. I still have movement.
you did. I assume you went. It started. Or are you through? Are you going to run towards him? Are you going to go after him? Or are you going to go back inside?
Don't forget you have haste as well.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I have haste, so I have double my movement.
And you have another action that you can use.
That is ridiculous.
You can use for dash. So you have double movement plus dash.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my first part of my movement to duck back in and let them know that the fiend has Alice.
Okay.
And that he may or may not have ripped her hand off or arm off because I pissed him off. But I'm going to go and kill him. I'm going to duck back and run after him.
Okay. You start giving pursuit. Yeah, you start giving pursuit. You're going to be able to keep track of him because you chase after.
But he's going up. He's ascending.
He's going up and away towards the center.
Can we see him?
Through the arcane gate, yes. He's getting a little further away, but
How far, roughly?
I'd say right now he's about 400 feet away.
I would cast Odaluk's Resilient Sphere on Alice, but it's a little bit out of range.
Yeah, you already see Zalin already booking it through the streets. And, even outside of the Belladonna Theater, you see meteor swarms impacting and shaking the disc. Like things are going down. But you guys can choose as well on your action. We had an 18. Who's next?
Wasn't me. I'm a 12.
Pat, what'd you get?
No, I was a 7.
Okay,
Oh.
so Ray, you're next. You could give pursuit and chase with Zalin.
While I'd be useful there, I think I'm more useful helping people here with the magic that I do have. So I'm going to cast Summon Elemental for Earth Elemental, so I can command him to start protecting people as much as he can to kind of usher more out.
Awesome. So what that is going to do is this encounter with the captivated crowd works a bit different. The crowd has a body of hit points that you guys need to save, and you need to save as many people as you can. And so you're actually going to do this in pretty clever ways. Doing this is perfect. When the crowd gets a chance to use its evacuate reaction to actually get on out, they have to make some rolls. Because you're helping them, they're going to get advantage on that check to see how many people escape because they have assistance from you. And also, there's demons that get summoned up that are, the elemental can definitely help fight against that. But you summon up this earth elemental and, it very quickly opens up an extra door so people can start getting out the side before some fire starts spreading.
Mhm.
On a 10, is my actions. So you see 5 very large fiends get summoned through dimensional gates on the outskirts of the Belladonna Theater. As people are racing in the crowd out to the nearest doors, now there is at these doors this massive demon that has come through, and it like already like shakes and bites its head, opens its jaw, and they just instantly start grabbing people in the audience, the nearest ones that are there, and start attacking and biting in and ruining people's very, very good day with a very bad case of poison and death. So one of them you see use this devouring bite, and it like just literally swallows a person wholesale. And then another one on another door engages in this hellfire attack. And even in the first bit, you see that the captivated crowd, has taken damage. And the crowd is panicked and become frightened as the nearest creature, like, anything it sees, everywhere they look, they're trapped and they're pinned in here, except with the one place that you've given them. As a lair action, a blazing orb of fire plummets down at 2 random locations, in fact, like doing even more damage to the crowd in the theater. One of them hits your force shield though, and you save them that damage. Let's see how much they take from. All right, they take another 5 points of damage. And I think that's it for them. Next, we go down to Fergus and Dodo. Oh wait, the crowd actually gets to go on 10. Hold on, this is important.
Yeah, get away, guys! Run!
Right. And so evacuate. All right. So they get to make a DC 16 athletics check strength to flee the area. If they do it, 10% of the crowd escapes. I'm going to give them advantage because you have helped them with an earth elemental, and that's a pretty big effect. 9 and a 13. All right. Totally helps. The extra door helps them get through in a spot that the fiends weren't breaking, and 10% of the crowd has been saved.
Good. Do that 10 more times, guys.
Pat, I think you're next.
Okay, so there are fiends also. There's the fiend that was stealing Alice, but now we got fiends too right in front of us, or in the crowd.
Yeah, you have five very, very large.
Can I reach one of them? I have a flying speed of 40.
Flying speed of 40? Yes, you can get to one that's like near like the side exit.
I'm feeling a wee bit of a malice. That means I'm raging.
A wee bit of malice.
And haste, don't forget haste.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so I got 80. Okay, yeah, so 80 feet then, right? It's doubled.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna come for the one of them, whoever the closest one is that's trying to hurt people.
Yeah, sure. Roll your attack and draw its attention. It is easily distracted, but you can get its attention pretty bit. It's just looking for something fleshy, alive to destroy. But attack and damage at the same time, my friend.
Right. That is a 14 plus 15, 29 to hit.
Oh, that totally crushes its AC. Yes.
Okay. So that is going to be, for the first one, a sorry, I can't that's 16 slashing damage. And then I'm going to do it again.
Sure.
Got it, Fergus.
Oh, also, I'm going to do one more thing too, but just, sweet, 17 plus 15.
Sure.
That's another 17 slashing damage. And then I have a, when Fergus's rage activates, he's very Thor in Infinity War. He starts like radiating electricity out of him. He's got kind of an aura of electricity. And I'm going to target this thing. He has to make a dex save. A DC 18, the fiend does.
Fail.
He makes it.
Boo.
He makes it. All right, boo. All right. Well, that's it for that time. But I'm gonna fuck this guy up.
Yeah, you come flying in, and Dodo, you get a chance to actually observe what's happening with the group.
It's 6 more damage on top of that because I didn't add my rage bonus. Extra
Sure.
bonus.
You
So-
come flying in and you
Damn.
like hack and slash and like you cut this thing's belly open and Fergus discovers an interesting regional effect in the belladonna. You are never more than 30 feet away from a source of alcohol. So you are able to
Bad
like
dream, Fergus.
take a quick
It's-
break even in your bit. And when you hold up the like a quick ale of alcohol, you notice that the fiend, like its eyes gravitate towards it, like it's lured to the vice. And you kind of like move it to the side, like and chop off one of its hands. But Dodo, I want you to give me a wisdom saving throw.
No. All right. I'm good at those. Let's see if I can do better than a natural 2 like I did last time. 25.
25. So you're the last one to go, which has given you a unique perspective of actually seeing what's happening. You see Fergus do what most adventurers and barbarians do. They leap into fray and they start trying to, kill things. But there's fire raining down from the sky. People are getting obliterated by meteor swarms and these demons that are there. And you also see small groups of like, occasionally people inside the audience actually stab like security members and then like fade back into the crowd. Fighting something you look at and realize whoever's summoning these fiends can just keep summoning an infinite amount of them. It doesn't matter how much you hurt them. It doesn't matter how much damage you deal to them. Your focus here is evacuation. So what are you going to do?
All right. So Dodo wants to look into the crowd and find a group of people who may be somewhat close together that look quite injured, maybe a place where one of the meteors slammed into the ground. And he wants to run up to them and gather them together and mass cure wounds.
Well, perfect. That will do a thing. You don't even have to roll because their hit points work a little bit differently. I'm just gonna refill their hit point up to the next tier.
All right.
Yeah.
And maybe with his hasted action and movement speed, he can just kind of usher some of those to one of the exits and kind of help get them along the way.
Well, the problem is that there is a big mob and they are a swarm, and you're doing it, but it's going to take some drastic earth elemental level shaping or like good distractions to clear an exit, because you've got to clear an exit now. Fergus is in the process of clearing an exit, or at least getting attention. And if maybe Fergus can lure another fiend on top of him and maybe get the fiends to all start chasing him around, it might clear up a doorway or something.
All right.
Top of the round, though, we go to Zalin.
All right. Do I have any hope of chasing this thing down?
No, but you have a hope of following it to where it's going.
Okay. I am going to keep doing that.
Okay. As you, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to fall back with you at the end of the crowd encounter, because where you're going is to another spot for some information, and we're gonna close the game out with what you see when you get there. But every round will give you a small update. As you are running through this time and you see it up ahead, you find Alice's spell book torn a little bit on the ground, along with a pouch of scattered platinum. You see several of the buildings have been destroyed on the first disc, but it's definitely going towards the middle. And then we go to Tristan.
Oh, I think you're muted.
You're muted, Ray.
Yeah, I'm muted, but you know what? We're not gonna let that bother us at all because we're just that awesome.
Yeah, totally.
So I can only have one concentration spell up at a time, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would summon another earth elemental. So
okay, Sava allows you to have 2 concentrated spells up at once.
then in that case, I'll be summoning a second earth elemental to assist in the evacuation as well.
Okay.
So that's
What's your
another
What's your earth elemental look like? Describe this one.
So the way that I'd figure these elementals that Tristan summons, since he's more of a flare type guy, their humanoid shapes will be a little more intricate than normal, but they will be large, like bulky, like humans. Like imagine rock come to life, like almost like a golem, but a little more like detail on them, like a little more flare. Like they're actually wearing what might appear to be clothes if you looked at like the way that the rocks like kind of craggle together. So they're a little more, a little more fancy looking, I suppose. So bulky, large suits, like bodyguards made out of rock. They're just helping people shuffle them off to safety.
Okay. Well then, it's the bad guy's turn. So there's 5 fiends that are here. One of them is absolutely going to attack Ferguson with this devouring bite attack.
He makes a rude gesture at him.
What's your AC?
'Tis a 19.
19? One of them will hit. Go ahead and take 26 points of damage and give me a Constitution saving throw.
But I guess no.
Okay, I am. Was that halved because I'm resistant? Is that bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage? You say?
It's piercing.
Okay, so it's half. So I'm
Sure.
resistant. So how much?
DC 7, or it was 26 damage total.
So 13.
And give me a Constitution saving throw.
You got it. That's a 15.
So when it bites your arm and you block it, the acid in its maw actually slews the flesh off of your arm and leaving your skin actually exposed as it melts off, and like, or the muscle underneath, like actually exposed, like a flesh just straight up torn off. When you see it bite and to pull this off, it devours that portion of your arm, and its eyes glow to be the same colors as yours. And it even gets like a little blue lightning streak along its cheek, and it has advantage on all attack rolls against you now, as it is trying to become you. Now the other 4 fiends though are all going to hit the captivating crowd, and you see these hellfire blasts go as they start moving the crowd in, and the crowd ends up taking 10, 20, 30, 40 damage. 20 damage total. 20 damage total to the crowd, which takes it down to from 90 or from 190, that was last round. This one. In this, when the fiends are moving in, you see the 4 horsemen, those elemental band members that were going to help back you guys up. You see them trying to help evacuate and trying to get involved. You see the fiends just burn them with hellfire, and then a group of assassins come out and actually shank them, and even seem to like steal and bottle up some of their blood and essence before like vanishing back into the crowd. And so the 4 horsemen are caught in the crossfire, and then they perish. The crowd, lost in desperation at this point, becomes desperate and violent, and even your elementals, they are starting to attack out of panic and fear that they have gotten down to. But they are going to make their escape attempt. They still will get advantage because your elemental is helping them. They make it because of advantage. If it wasn't for that, more of the crowd would have been saved. So 20% of the crowd has now been saved.
And now saved 1 out of every 5 people.
Right. And then we go down to Dodo. What are you gonna do?
Fergus first, no?
Oh, Fergus? Sorry,
yeah.
Fergus.
Different. First off, ow, rude. So, but
Rude.
you said he noticed that he was following like the ale. As an experiment, I don't know if I actually can I just like chuck it and see what he does, like chuck it away from the crowd.
Yeah, it's a free bonus action. The fiend chases after it. He drops all semblance of targeting and actually chases after the ale and the Kate, and like starts drinking it like as much as he can before like turning back to attention. Something about the vice or the gluttony of that really draws him to it.
Does
right,
Fergus chase after it as well?
No. So great though. So while he runs after that, I'm gonna fly towards the nearest one because I see him do that, and I'm gonna uncork the alchemy jug and start pouring like a little trail of ale in front of it, and I'm gonna try and like taunt. I want to taunt the another one to follow it, and I'll be like, "Aye, Owlin, Pilot, Joby, come get it," and like try to lead him away.
It's definitely the one that had burned the 4 horsemen. And its breath is like got a little bit of like fire on it, and it sniffs the air, and it sees this alchemy jug like pouring an infinite amount of.
I'm just like flying back.
And it believes its exit, and it starts like on all fours pursuing you, and its tongue comes out and it's like licking the ground and like lashing up more towards.
Come get it, you dirty Jaff.
It totally follows. And absolutely. So that's going to then, because you've opened up an exit, it's going to allow the captivating crowd to attempt another escape.
Hell yeah.
But without advantage this time.
Okay.
They do not. Their mob mentality and violence, like there are people at this point pushing other people down and like for their own safety and survival, and it's just causing more problems. Dodo.
Baron Pawnbroker in chat has a very good question. Does somebody have banishment? Oh, but I do.
Oh!
Dodo approaches, tries to get with around him within 60 feet. The biggest, toughest exit blocking fiends that he can see. And get some. How many can he get kind of within that 60-foot radius?
He can get 2, because if he follows the ones that are both chasing after Fergus, he can get both of them.
All right. So he'll get up to them and he'll cast banishment at 5th level, I believe, which will let him target 2, and says, "Go run back where you came from, you ugly fiends." And that'll be a charisma saving throw. Oh.
Fail.
No, it's 2 fails probably. What's the DC?
19.
Yeah, that's 2 failures.
Boys.
So both of them get like
ask me, mate.
Out of existence, which like they disappear. The crowd in that area becomes a little less panicked when there's 2 less giant fiends like right on top of them. And this tactic with the group of you does seem to work. That does create another exit, because you had cleared one. This definitely clears the other. So a portion of the crowd is going to attempt to evacuate as.
So while you're rolling that,
Oh,
Rick,
wait.
the Belladonna, there's walls around it. Yeah, the amphitheater.
Yeah, it's like going up. If I could screen share, I would have we have a whole map for this and everything.
Right. I just wanted to make sure that's the one I was thinking of from the disc.
Can I do a quick free action to speak?
Yes, you can.
Fergus, stop throwing away perfectly good ale. And that's it.
It's a lure.
The crowd is still getting their bearings and are unable to like climb over each other or like climb up enough. People are still violently punching each other, throwing each other out of the way. There's looting happening where they're trying to take money out of the ale stands and things like that.
It's like Coachella.
It's Firefest gone in a whole different direction.
Oh man.
So we go to the top of the round, and Zalin, you see something. You see 2 fiends in that person that had summoned or with the fire. You just see this mask and this hood with this green up on the second disc, perched, like looking down as you get closer to the central pillar. And he's watching the Belladonna. And you see almost like an image of the 2 fiends get banished and end up in chains, shackled behind him. The herald kind of looks at these, snaps his fingers, and back down in the Belladonna, you guys see 5 more fiends appear, surrounded back in, as he is absolutely more focused on eliminating the crowd than he is on what that somebody else that might be running in his direction.
Am I able to get up to him at all?
Oh no, not in this turn. But you, by running in this direction, you're getting information about who's causing something and why wars between summoners, banishment, and conjuration can kind of go on for a while. Unfortunately, there's people caught in the crossfire. But you are running and getting closer, and as you're getting closer, you realize that you see a meteor swarm come down right where the Silken Veil Tavern is, and just get completely obliterate that Silken Veil Tavern at the entryway. You also start hearing sounds of people fighting in the central pillar, guards and fireballs exploding in this aqueduct that is like bringing water up to the higher levels of Salvata. There's definitely a skirmish up ahead where something else is happening. And perhaps the belladonna is just a distraction. We go then to Tristan. You're inside.
If only we had been cold-blooded bastards and all fled the belladonna. But so I'm gonna let one of the elementals drop the first one. These 5 fiends that appear, are they close to one another, like when he summons them?
These ones will be in a batch that end up close together.
During Blade Song, during the Blade Song, I can move 10 plus feet. So I'm literally moving at 80 feet. I will move towards them, not all the way, like not within combat range, but just like say 20 feet away. And I'm going to use a 7th level spell slot to cast Summon Elemental again, but at a 7th level this time, which gives it some extra attack. It gets like 3 attacks and like some other damage bonus, but it's basically his goal is going to be to occupy them. My bonus action is going to be to throw my longsword towards them and activate the command word so it starts attacking them because it's a dancing longsword. So I'm going to try to keep them occupied while people try to flee.
I'm going to ask you to give me a deception check.
Sure. 9. I'm too honest. What you see with Tristan is what you get.
Obviously the elemental is a huge distraction. Same with the dancing over, and like even one of the little Calrath orbs has come down and like watches your movement as you do this. On a lair action, Calrath is like now like super aware of what's really happening down here. And as another meteor swarm is about to impact, and you even see more fiends about to be like dimensional gatewayed up behind you, you see a prismatic wall get appeared by the archwizard who helps protect this city as a lair action as well, like feeding off of your own action as this orb is watching what you're doing.
Okay.
But one of the fiends obviously doesn't care. The deception check isn't enough to get all 5 fiends' attention. Right. So you guys are down a party member, unfortunately. And so one of the fiends is going to race off. And this fiend picks up and does like rips the flesh off 2 audience members with its devouring bites, drops them down, and you see it like take on like some of their traits as it does so again. And also still in the crowd, several, like anybody who's like a support member or a like stagehand or a tech is getting shanked by these assassins that are like sticking and moving inside the crowd. And by now you've identified that there's really only like 5 of them, but they just keep darting around. And because they're humanoid, everybody's looking at the big fiends and the meteor swarms. Nobody's looking at these little guys that are actually making precise strikes. And they do some more harm to the captivating crowd. And unfortunately, you turn around and you see Dodo, you notice that there's a set of pixie wings where one of the band assassin members had gone, and elsewhere you see another pixie pinned to the wall with a dagger.
Haven't a pixie suffered enough?
You're bad, man, Rick.
Right. You're mean.
So it's okay. If the crowd takes 10 more points of damage, all drink vendors and bartenders within the belladonna are shattered and destroyed.
No.
The ale is on the line next.
Does Fergus get advantage now?
Yeah. You know what? Yes, I will allow that. I will allow that. But then we go to the captivated crowd. There are exits available for them to go. You guys have helped them. I will give them an advantage on the roll, which is good because they would have botched otherwise. So another 10% of the crowd is able to get out, and you see half-elf hype evacuate with the crowd in this batch.
Give him half elves a bad name, man.
But
sexy cowards.
So all that's left are the bartenders and drink vendors that are hiding behind there's still a lot of people left, but about 30% of the crowd has been killed in this attack, and you guys have managed to save about another 50%. So we're down to the final bits. So let's see if Fergus and Dodo can save the drink vendors.
Honestly, Fergus probably would not have noticed, unless you tell me differently, the assassins in the crowd, because he's been like up above. He's been looking like so honestly, he probably wouldn't. He's also not aware that the fiends that were banished were just shackled up above, but he saw that it worked, right? He lured away and some people got away.
Yep.
So he's gonna just try and do that again. So I'm gonna zip towards the nearest fiend again, try to get their attention. I'll take an opportunity attack. What I'd like to do, because I think, to be fair, the alchemy jug is a gallon. I think it's fair to say I've probably used everything. I think that's.
I think so.
What I'd like to do is come up maybe behind a fiend, slash at it with a sword, and then because if we're hasted still, right, and try to draw its attention, hey, come, hit it with the sword, and be taunt it and talk shit and have it come try to chase me, and I'll lead it away.
Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion
or
check?
an intimidation.
Okay. Yeah, I like intimidation. So let me. That's it. Oh, you lavy head! And fuck yeah, that's a 24.
There you go.
All right.
Dingy pile of shite.
The crowd gets a free
Come get
chance
a piece
to
of this.
Evacuate, and that's a 6. The dice is right on the edge. The fiend does follow you, but the crowd that's there doesn't see the opening and they don't trust it. So the crowd unfortunately tries to get out, but they don't take it, even though you're successful.
To keep it focused on me, because I haven't done a bonus action, can I I keep forgetting every time. I want to lightning bolt the fucker. He has to make a dex save.
If you lightning bolt, you are likely to eradicate people in the crowd.
No, it's not my breath. It's my storm aura. It just affects one creature.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'm
within
thinking
10 feet
lightning
of me.
bolt, the spell where you're
sorry.
Otherwise,
No.
I've been using lightning bolt kapow!
No. Sorry. I have a storm aura that I can pick one creature, and it takes lightning damage if it fails the dex save.
Sure.
Is it worse if I coat it in water?
I mean, that's up to the DM, I think.
I'll give it disadvantage.
One particular fish. Right?
It gets a 23.
That one fish in
It's a
particular.
23.
Yeah.
Shit, it passes. Okay.
So unfortunately,
it still takes half damage on a success. New character. Fuck this guy. So it still takes 5 lightning damage.
Okay. There's a small hair on its beard that gets singed up, and it already is on you, and the crowd is not choosing to run through this guy's feet.
I want to pull him away.
You want to pull away? That's a thing. But Dodo, what are you gonna do?
So Dodo run into the crowd again. You got to get out of here. Go. And it just mass cure wounds again.
Very nice.
Let's try to. Is that possible?
Unfortunately, you look around. There's no the crowd that is here. They're all perfectly fine and not survived, but everybody else is dead. There are body parts, ash, like people are collapsed, trampled to death. You're getting down to the final elements of the people that are still left inside, with only a handful of crowd left. Like maybe 10% of the original crowd is left to save.
Okay, I got an idea, if that's all right.
Yep.
And so there's presumably still assassins out there. Were there like chairs that people were sitting on in the audience?
No, that's more like benches and
Okay.
like amphitheater, like, open air with like a picnic kind of thing.
I want him to walk out, if this is okay with you, and cast animate objects on all the benches, which will get a lot of benches, I believe.
Yes.
And have the benches then go and try to protect the final few people as they escape, try to like run interference like blockers on the football field, on football terms that I don't know.
I'll tell you what, I like this idea, and what I will do is I will give them 10 temporary hit points, which on their stat block is significant. By the way, they kind of work a little bit differently.
So they like Beauty and the Beast furniture, like animated, just like
oh yeah.
Like, they're kind of like long bench dogs. Like,
and they each have a little like long mustache for no reason.
Long dining armoire is always my favorite.
Oh yes.
So top of the round, Zalin, you're racing, to this. Unfortunately, you are such a tiny small gnome, and your movement speed is slow. By the time you reach the central pillar, you find Alice's dead body in several pieces near the central pillar. And you look up and you see a sorcerer, like with a full Emerald Cabal mask, like this blonde hair, huge half elf bits. And she is not the one standing on the second disc. She's got a whole group of Salvatan guards dead around her. And she's standing in front of this beautiful central garden with the aqueduct that carries water of any kind out to the first disc. And her and several Emerald Cabal members have already disenchanted and broken several of the wards. And as you arrive, you see the Emerald Cabal shatter the first aqueduct that takes water to the first district entirely. It explodes out, and you see this magic water filter down and more of it go up higher. And she looks, and you actually get to hear her say to like the fiend that killed Alice that like lands next to her. She goes, "Did you hurt her?" And the fiend is like, "Yes, but now we can be her." And she's like, "Today has gone perfect." And she puts away her wand and she just starts walking away. Not even knowing that you're there, not even that you've encountered this. And the herald is looking down at this, and his eyes see yours quickly. And he just disappears into a poof of smoke back away into the second disc. And you are left in the carnage and the ruins of this first disc, because you see the trickle of water in the middle of a desert stop for the thousands of people that live in District 1. Back to the crowd. Inside the audience, we go to Tristan. There's only one group left to save, and now they have animated furniture guiding them from the fiends.
So we got one fiend that's been engaging Fergus, right?
Yes.
How many are with the massive elemental and the sword?
4 are with the massive elemental, and there's only one fiend that is currently.
I'm gonna pull a Warcraft and polymorph him into a chicken.
All right, let me make the roll.
DC is 17.
Fail. Please fail. Please fail. Please fail. Please.
That's total fail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who feels that chicken tonight? Tristan does.
The fiend would normally succeed in this saving throw, but Pixie Power has the ability to make an advantage or a disadvantage happen on a roll. And they are dead, but Diamond, with her last pixie breath, is like, "Screw you."
They
and
just reunited too.
Swaps
12 years
the
ago.
swaps the role. The fiend turns into a chicken, which is going to give the crowd its last chance to make an escape attempt before the fiends go.
Fun fact, the material components needed to polymorph something into a chicken are 11 herbs and spices.
Well, that's it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for coming.
So the last group is able to get on out. You see like a bartender like push their cart out with like its taco stand on it and like evacuate out. But outside the gates of the Veldana, even these fiends, you know, they're there only for a second or two, and they show up and they then disappear. And as you guys walk out into the carnage of the first disc, the ground has shaken. The first, your Silkenville Tavern, like that district looks like it had been like meteor swarmed all the way up the main bridge, kind of closing it off. So even if anybody else wanted to come into the city, they would have to already have problems. You see more fiends appear and get summoned, and they only stay in existence for a few seconds to cause some chaos before they are disappeared. But after some explosions in the center of the city, the meteor swarms and the showers start. The Salvatan Guard is out there trying to respond, and the Salvatan government is trying to help the best they can. But you guys were at the center of the action in literally the seconds that it happened. So you were able to react first, but sure enough, people do come, and clerics that have access to whatever magic and help to resurrect and even help with little bits they can. Very quickly. There's going to be a diamond shortage in the city of Salvata as they try to, you know, restore as many lives as they can. But there is not going to be enough. And Zalin, you're standing there looking at this wreckage, and you see all of these clues in front of you of who might have been responsible. And you feel you hear a hushed whisper come from an alleyway. You say, hey, where are the rest of you? Let's go. And you look over and you see Vlania like hiding in the shadows, but coming out briefly, like she was dressed for an elaborate show or an elaborate party that was happening somewhere else, and had managed to like get down here to grab you guys before things were to continue. But in the middle of this carnage, in the middle of this devastation that just happened, is where our adventure tonight is actually going to come to an end. Because what comes next is the investigation of Disc 1, maybe helping some people around the city, finding what you can salvage, and learning what is beyond the veil and what conspiracy is actually afoot in Salvata. And so I hope you guys had fun. And I hope everybody watching had a good time. This splitting the party has consequences, and in this case, the consequences were information, but more death. The captivating crowd is a really fun encounter to do because it's about saving people in unique ways and helping them use your abilities in different ways than is normally confronted in many games. And I can't wait to see which side people choose and what conspiracies people uncover throughout this game, because there's multiple endings, multiple different tracks, different faction groups. There's different ways to choose to ally, to learn the conspiracy and the puzzles that are happening in the city. You could be heroes, you could be famous, you could even maybe take over a city for yourself if you wanted. Or there are multiple paths throughout this adventure, and we try to give the storytellers the guidance in these notes how to run this adventure for the game that their players want to do, and give the players that agency while also preventing the players from having anything spoiled from them as the game unfolds. So with that being said, I'll let you guys do a quick exit and say yourself where they can find you guys, who you played again. Thank you guys as players for so much. And then I'll close it out at the end.
Fair enough. Who wants to go first?
You.
All right, I will go first. I am Ray. I am the main person behind the Postmortem Gaming channel here on Twitch and on YouTube, where we do actual plays primarily. Right now, we're doing a V5 campaign in Chicago called the Bali Chronicles, which is following a nest of 3 Bali as they make their way through all the cults and mysteries of the city of Chicago. And on the other alternating Saturdays, we run Cyberpunk Red, where we play a game with a non-traditional cyberpunk group. That means they're not edge runners. It's literally just a band of 5 friends who are trying to fight against the corpse and not sell out. It's been a lot of fun, and a lot of interesting twists have come their way so far, and we just ended our first season on a cliffhanger. So that's where we're at. So come give us a visit.
All right, dude, that's awesome. Also, Cyberpunk, yes. All right. I'm going in order on the camera screen. So if I point in random directions, I don't know how this looks on the screen, but Theo.
Me, okay. I'm Theo Thourson again from the Gallant Goblin. We review TTRPG products over on YouTube primarily. We just reviewed the Pathfinder Beginner Box, which was an amazing product. We also have our own actual play show on Gilding Light right now, celebrating the Bard book called A Song for the Shadows. You can catch back episodes on YouTube on either Gilding Light or Gallant Goblin and join us on Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific. We're having a great time. Satine guest starred in the last episode. Our first episode had the library bards, and so we had just a fun time there. So come see me at the Gallant Goblin everywhere on the internet, and I'd love to see you there. Come say hi. And Rick, thank you for having me today. It was such a pleasure, and
Dude,
you did such
you guys
an
were
amazing
great.
job.
Like all of you guys were fantastic. So, but we'll go with Pat next.
Hey, I am at the Pat Edwards on Twitter. Yep, obviously I'm a writer. My novel Space Tripping is available for purchase. Sequel's coming at the end of the year. And I sorry, I lost my train of thought. But Theo,
sorry, I'm trying to point to you, but I put it away.
Right directions. I think you're.
I think all of us do. I'm on a Twitch show on Geekly. It's a little different. We're at daytime, just because we're like different audience. So 2 p.m. Eastern on Thursdays at Geekly Inc. on the Twitch channel. We're going through Rime of the Frost Maiden, Icewind Dale currently, and come see if you want to see me play a character who's basically someone from a Guy Ritchie movie, gangster in a D&D world. And then if you like movies, if you like movies, check out the podcast Let's Rewatch that I'm a co-host of with. I'm the one writer, but then it's 3 other individuals who are professionals in the industry, a professional director, video editor, animation producer, and we revisit movies that we loved in our youth and see if they're still any good and hold up. Rick has been a guest. We did The Crow last fall. So you come check us out. Let's Rewatch, part of the certainpov.com network.
I actually had a lot of fun with that one. But Crystal, where could we find you?
All right, so you can find me at thegeekypanda.com. You can also find me anywhere on social media at bodyandsoul152. I have worked on a whole bunch of stuff. I'm an educator by day. I'm a teacher. And then by night, I write for a whole bunch of books and games that you have probably at some point heard of. I have written for the award-winning PIP system from Third Eye Games, and I'm also the current developer for it. I have written on Never Going Home. I've written on Chicago by Night. I've written on Let the Streets Run Red. I am the developer for for No Gods, No Masters for Scions 2E, which is coming up. It's in writing process right now.
Awesome.
I have a whole bunch of stuff on Storyteller Vaults and stuff like that through Darker Days Radio, which I am also one of the co-hosts for, where we talk about horror in the context of gaming. And on Sunday, every other Sunday, we do Warhammer Fantasy right now. I think we're coming up on our last episode for this season, and then we're going to go on a little break. But we're planning on running a whole bunch of other games, hopefully maybe some Unhallowed Metropolis or some other fun things like that. And I've written on Never Going Home too, which is World War I, like Cthulhu-esque horror.
I've actually played that game.
Can I ask you a question, Crystal?
Yeah.
Have you ever written for a role-playing game before? I mean, geez, that list is huge and it's awesome.
I I realized that I'm like, oh, I've written on a lot of stuff. I also wrote on Red
The
Opera.
Red Opera.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
I've heard of that one.
yeah, like it's nothing. It doesn't feel like a lot, to be totally honest.
Yeah, I had to look back at it and was like, wow, I'm actually about to have 5 books published this year.
I have-
And,
And we all have one other thing in common too.
we're all writers on Sirens.
We are.
Oh my God, I didn't put that together till right now.
But that being said, as I am at Cranky Bolt on the internet, my primary thing is I'm a novel writer. I write sarcastic urban fantasy about the end of the world. My series is called the Seventh Age series. First book is the Seventh Age Dawn. The second is Dystopia, which is like elf punk or magic punk of what happens when magic starts becoming corporate. In the apocalypse. It comes out this year. It's literally like, I think it might be coming out in May 22nd.
This is actually how Rick and I met, was through,
yes.
through his writing.
May 22nd.
I think it's coming out on the end of or right around the end of the Kickstarter.
That's all. Yeah, the last day of the Kickstarter.
Because I'm going to Pensacon for it, and if it's not out, then it's going to be out very soon. But I'm done. It's in the hands of the publisher. It's through its edits. The cover art's done.
I've been waiting for years.
It's so much because I have a full publisher now. That book, that series, go look on Amazon. That's where you really find it. There's it's sarcastic, it's funny, demon seal tacos, it's hilarious. I think so. She thinks so.
One of my favorite pieces of art is from that book. Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
But also, the Red Opera is a project that was very near and dear to my heart that, Pat and I have spent many, many years on. But most importantly, tonight, you guys are watching this on Gehenna Gaming's channel. And these guys are freaking awesome. And if you aren't familiar with Gehenna Gaming's channel and you are from watching this on a YouTube or from another stream or watching just because you heard about it from the Kickstarter, check these guys out. In particular, this Saturday, they're having a vampire Western happen at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a V5 system. It's part of their special one-shot stuff. I mean, come on, vampire Westerns are awesome. You still get to have trench coats, just maybe katanas sometimes it does, but no, check it out. Cool. Gehenna Gaming, even when they do their Gehenna Gaming Con, have some amazing panels and great topics about storytelling, horror gaming, aspects to up your game and be a better storyteller. But ultimately, after all of that, our Kickstarter is live. Please go help us out, content creators. Bardbook.com, Salvata out. That's it. That's all we got. So, but
I just got raided too, I think.
Yeah, we just got a 16 raid right at the end.
You got to start over, Rick. Let's take it from the top.
We got to go over again now, apparently.
This time, we're in Salvata. We walk through the portal.
Right. This time using air elementals.
Right. Lift the audience out. Well, if you guys
throw them over the walls, man. Just throw them over the walls.
If you guys want, I could actually tell you a bit about the encounter choices. When you guys had that choice with the band, in the chapter 1, you had a choice to save the crowd or go pursue after. Saving the crowd, if you guys had stayed, all of you, you might have had more opportunities to create escapes, which gives the crowd a chance to get to use their evacuate action at the end of each of its turn. And the crowd has a hit point chart, right? If it's taken this much damage, these people die. The belladonna gets, if you guys don't save anybody, the audience is annihilated and you suffer permanent repercussions for that to your fame and renown throughout the rest of the adventure.
But the true drawback would have been the ale and alcohol.
The regional effects are my favorite. No matter where you're at, you're always 30 feet from a cup of free ale.
It's like my house
inside the belladonna. And so that is a thing where you have to actually try to save a crowd, much because the fiends will just keep getting resummoned. They're just there for a round or two, and then even the magic takes them away before they get renewed. So it's really about saving as many people as you can in the crowd one. In the other one, if you had gone down plan B a little bit more, you would have had to let the crowd be annihilated, which is going to have serious repercussions. But you would have found out who's really behind some of the actions and events that are going on, and had a chance to save the aqueduct for being eroded, which is hurting one faction to help another faction.
Oh,
So
cool.
Layers within layers, sir.
Right.
Layers within layers.
Alice dies unless you jump on saving her right away, all as a group.
Sad
she-
face.
She doesn't make it. Little gnome couldn't chase up. If you
Gotta
could
choose
fly,
between
maybe.
Alice and the Pixies.
Yep.
I'm more bummed about the Pixies.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, the only backup group that was left and they all had different abilities, by the way. 4 horsemen like could solo on stage and let you guys like hang out backstage, and like do the checks for you, but would allow you to do more like backstage stuff and like investigate. Like if you had to go off stage, it wouldn't affect your performance roll, so you could have like done like a ninja thing, because these backup bands will help you throughout the rest of the encounter or the rest of the campaign.
Well, see, if we hadn't picked the Pixies, we wouldn't have turned the fiend into a chicken.
That's
So-
true. That's true.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Unfortunately, the Pixies are dead, and you're gonna have to find somebody else, in the rest of the campaign. Because that's the other part. This is a full campaign. This isn't like a one shot or anything like this. This
Right.
book is probably gonna be 320 pages. Is like what we're looking at. 20 adventures. All kinds of stuff. Big giant narrative overarch type stuff.
Awesome bad guys.
Yeah.
Bad
Oh,
guys are the most
yeah.
fashionable. That's
Awesome bad guys.
And
Yeah.
awesome ambiguous leaders
Also very
who,
true.
who have interesting mounts. But
we'll get to that. That's for episode 2. So, but yeah, I got nothing, guys. I hope you guys had fun though.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Blast.
Yeah.
I love playing, like having you as a storyteller.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I
Good
try.
times.
it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
So fun.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. The last time I played a wizard that high in level, it was like 2nd edition, like AD&D,
Oh.
So
Oh, wow.
very different, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. 14th level back in 2nd edition was like, even if you were what race you were, determined how high up that really.
Yeah. Stuff was crazy back then, Thaco.
Oh God.
It was in the Wild West of tabletop RPGs.
Yeah, it was nuts. But that was fun. That was awesome. You should do it again sometime.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we will, especially after we get more, we get past the Kickstarter and we see what like other stretch goals and other things that we have. Because I really want to eventually be able to like start talking about some of the things that we're doing, because we, as writers, know some things that we can't talk about, and that's the worst part. Like even in the opening day of the Kickstarter, I was like, "Oh, I want to talk about these really cool things that we're putting in the book,"
Yeah.
and I'm like, "We can't say
Yeah.
anything yet."
What we can say though is we're really close to a really awesome stretch goal with Mod.
We can.
Yeah.
We are.
Did we pass 200,000 tonight?
I don't know. Actually, I haven't checked.
Let me go check.
Let me take a look.
Oh, we're closer. 197 now.
Oh,
197,
climbing up
250.
there.
Oh, 197. It's still going up. 197, 300, 334. It's going up as we speak.
You are all awesome for making
this
that
is
happen.
sweet.
But yeah, no, this would be like, because the Red Opera was a massive success thanks to Dia Morte and Apotheosis
Yeah.
Studios and like everything that happened to get it there. It is really crazy being on the back end of trying to run a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And watch that go. Like the refresh
Yeah.
button on your computer is
No,
just
thank you.
like
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a full-time job.
Yep.
absolutely. But
We've almost got like 2,000 backers too. That's amazing.
Yeah, we're almost
Almost
at
2,000
2,000
backers.
backers.
Yeah. $200,000. Just a tremendous success.
oh yes,
So kudos
absolutely.
to you all. Yeah.
And a lot of really cool unlocks on the way. too.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the ones
I,
you've met, like all the guest writers that you've pulled in from Keith Baker and Nordic and everybody that you all brought in, this amazing group of artists coming in to add their own little side quests and
Mhm.
things. It's gonna be really exciting.
I mean, just even some of these, like, right, I mean, seeing what like people are doing with like the discs and the stuff that's coming out with the side quests and the ideas, like there is going to be some epic stuff in here. And the idea that it fosters player agency and which way your game's going to go, I am like, haha, yes, let the players try to wander.
And also, I should throw out too that it's not just the book. There's minis, there's dice vaults from Wormwood, there's Sirenscape. There's it's covered by almost every VTT system out there that you can get it on. There's a soundtrack, the Game Master screen, Sirenscape set, art prints, challenge coins, or like inspiration coins. There's so much stuff on there that you can get to enhance your game. We just call it all the enhancements to your imagination as you're playing, and there's some really cool stuff out there.
And what's really cool is even though it's bard centric, you don't have to all be bards to play. Like we
As
had
we did
one
today.
level tonight, one level out of all of us.
And you could be
Bard.
the macrame bard if you want to,
Right? I can macrame.
or the macrame cleric.
What's going on?
You know, but when you were just real quick, Theo, when you were talking about things, my favorite thing on the Kickstarter are the minis. Are freaking
Oh, the minis are amazing.
gorgeous.
I'm looking forward because my channel was pretty much started with reviewing minis from WizKids and other companies, and we're waiting to get our hands on those ones. They look similar to the ones from the Red Opera. We want to get our hands on those and show them to our audience because our audience is going to flip when they see those, and so I can't wait to get my hands on them.
Yep. I'm waiting for mine from the Red Opera too, because when we did them, I was like, oh no, I'm going to get myself a set.
Yeah.
But I've been given the flag that we can say goodnight, folks, to everybody. And so to everybody who watched this and witnessed the destruction and the information, but also they saved the bartenders. So
Mission's 100% successful, everybody.
Literally,
Good job.
mean, what else can it's perfection. Flawless victory.
Definitely
Flawless
good times.
victory.
thank you
Yeah.
guys for tuning in. Everybody have a fantastic evening.
Cheers.
And cheers. We'll talk soon.
Take
Good
care,
night.
everybody.
Bye.
Calling out below and above to save Salvata, the city that we love. An evil force has corrupted our home. Many fell and now the boss they stand alone. Blessed power rains down in waterfall. Holy magic desired by the Emerald Cabal. Injustice rots our city's very soul. Oppression is the noble's only goal. Rebellion rings in every street and every tavern hall. Now the time has come, my friends, to all answer the call. All answer the call. Now answer the
Sirens, Battle of the Bards is an epic 5th edition campaign and setting set in the decadent city of Salvata. Filled to the brim with over 300 pages, 20 adventures, over 10 new bard subclasses, and countless magical items, this is a fully immersive adventure. Mystery, intrigue, and deception lurk within every dark alley. The city of Salvata features 10 districts, including battle coliseums, amphitheaters, comedy clubs, taverns, bazaars, underground magic fighting rings, a new bardic university, and much, much more. You don't need to be a bard to adventure here. All are welcome in Salvata. Dive even further into the story with our partners, Mixed Dimensions, Wormwood, Level Up Dice, Campaign Coins, and Sirenscape. With a Weave storytelling platform, Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Shard, and Foundry VTT, you can even play virtually. With a full orchestral soundtrack, multiple endings, and new game mechanics to encourage exploration and improvisation, Sirens Battle of the Bards places your party not only in the crucible of conquest, but at the heart of a battle for the soul of a growing empire. Will you sell out? Will the city be ground to dust? Will the heavens be lured down and open before you? Will you join the Emerald Cabal, the Rebellion, or forge your own path? The fate of tens of thousands is in your party's hands. Join our Kickstarter and inspire revolution.